Heyo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another Alliance stream. We're joined by JT, Maul, and Charlie, and myself. Yes, we're here to talk about some Visions and some Jedi Survivor primarily today, because we haven't talked about it at all yet. So, yeah, I think we're probably going to start with Visions because I think Charlie's eager to share his prepared presentation.
Oh man, you're making me blush. You're making me blush. So,
Presentation.
yes. But no, I don't think anything's gonna surpass Life Day Buddy. I don't think anything's gonna surpass Les Dosh. I don't know why I keep wanting to say your name in French,
La dent.
but
Ladosh.
I don't get it. It's always stuck. Um, I don't think anything will surpass season one for me, but there were some definitely gems in this one. Um, uh, the Sith, love it. Voiced by no other than David Collins from Proxy, Force Unleashed, as the Sith guy. I love the art style and everything like that. It was amazing. Um, and then the other ones, flipping amazing. I'll go other thing on the other one, but yeah. After that, Journey into the Dark Head, flipping awesome. That was my favorite, hands down. Um, Added the Oriental philosophy into that for representing the light and dark and everything, and it was just very great. Plus, it had the animators for Avatar: Last Airbender, and had some very familiar voice actors in that I've definitely heard before. Um, so that was pretty wizard on my behalf. And Other favorite oh god, the other one was okay. So yeah, just get this out, and then we can just nerd out over everything like that. So the Spy Dancer. All right. At first, I was like, okay, cool, but then I found out this is based on a real person that was in World War II, called Josephine Baker. She was part of the occupation during the war, so they based this off of her experiences. There's a HBO documentary on her right now that you can find. She passed away in 1975, but this her kids and everything like that, and family and all that wanted to. They enjoyed Star Wars and wanted to tell like their one of their family stories through that and everything like that, and pay homage and tribute to her. So I thought that was a little nice and everything like that. So the reason why there were little trackers instead of just killing everything was just representing of what they were doing with the time and everything like that, what they could do for during being occupied and everything like that. So little things like that I always find little heart gems. Um, yeah. Other than that, uh, that's it. I can just go bananas on everything else. I know you guys are eager to talk about uh, that, but I very much enjoyed, like always, Visions. But yeah, I have spoken.
Very well.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I figured maybe I'll pull up the episode so we can sort of go through it so we don't miss anything, and then everyone can just give their thoughts on it.
Yeah, man.
So I'll just share episode 1 right now. So this is episode 1, Sith. Um, yeah. Maul, do you
Yes.
want to go and tell us about your
Yeah.
thoughts?
This episode, I kinda at first wasn't into it because of the like sparse art style in the beginning, where it was like this,
Yeah.
and then towards the end, once it got into where it seems like they put most of their resources, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I like this part.
Yeah. Like when it gets to this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
The
Beautiful.
Grievous bike.
Yeah.
Thank you, JT.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
That
blind
was
my
a
phone.
nice touch. Yeah, no, I agree with the art stuff for me personally too. Like in the beginning, it was like not really a fan, but yeah, when it went to this, when it was really colored out and stuff, then it was like pretty nice to look at. But yeah, I agree. It also took like that sort of full coloration to appreciate it. So
Beautiful.
I feel that. But yeah, anything else or was that it?
That's about it for this one. I mean, I enjoyed the duel section of it. I
Yeah.
felt like it was pretty nice, but
That fast. I like
Oh,
that.
that's right.
definitely
I
probably
don't
in my
really
top 3 from the season.
I don't know how I feel about double bladed lightsaber with one being a katana and the other being like a normal one. That just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like
I
the
was,
struggle she's having though with the constant like
I
Sith
think
like
that's just
vision.
the metaphor and stuff like that of what they were trying to do and stuff like that. But yeah, it's from trust me, I get yeah, from one blade person and everything like that. I get it. At the same time, I was like, oh, okay, because the whole thing is abstract paint and anyways, you just. But again, I can't help but fanboy over it. I'm like that voice, David Collins, Proxy. So
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, and Disney's got a bad rep with canceling the credits right before you want to pause and actually read
yeah,
them.
monsters.
But
yeah,
yeah, when Charlie, you sent that video to me with that interview, that was
Yeah,
cool to hear
dude.
that he did a little part in that. And I like that in general with like Lucasfilm people, they always continue to work on future projects.
yeah,
Love that
yeah. I
man.
mean, overall, I mean, like sort of like the thing that like made me go meh. But I mean, that's more of like okay, that's like the thing I'll say off the bat, so I don't have to repeat it all over again. Like the thing is, a lot of things in here, also continuing on, obviously don't make sense for canon because it's not meant to fit into canon. But for instance, here, like obviously when she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm, in the middle," like no Sith, no Jedi, sort of. I mean, it was like, here we go again. But yeah, I mean, for instance, like seeing like the katana sort of shape of the lightsaber, like as something that's not canon, like like yeah, like I like to see it in something like this. I mean, in Star Wars itself, it would be the dark saber. I mean, that's why I think a lot of us think it's so cool because of the shape. Um, but yeah, I think other than that, that's also pretty much it on my side for this one.
I mean,
Uh,
it brought to mind Ahsoka's sabers. I mean, her
yeah, a
blades are
little bit.
straight, but her handles would definitely sync up with that blade very well.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Then we have this one.
Dude, this one, I'm not gonna lie, very dark, very awesome.
This was my favorite one of the season.
Yeah, dude.
This was like the
So
Goonies. This is what I was expecting Skeleton Crew when
that,
that
yeah.
feeling, when they were talking about it.
So that Sith crazy creeper wraith ghost type person was voiced by Angelica Houston. If you know that name, good on you. If not, no worries. She played a bunch. She played Morticia Adams in the original Addams Family movie from the '90s. Good times.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one right here, I love how dark it got. It sets you up for like, okay, maybe journey to something like that. But no, it's actually a Sith thing.
Yeah, I couldn't take the screaming after a while. It wasn't like it was very just like not pleasant to listen to.
And this
I don't
really
think it was supposed to be.
No, I know it was
this
supposed to be that, but I don't like that kind of stuff.
this tuning with me with a bunch of Visions episodes. I like aspects of them,
Yeah,
but there's also stuff I don't like about them. But like right at the end when you see her basically leave her friends for this higher power or whatever that just comes out of nowhere, that's like dark side temptation to begin with. Like
yeah,
that's what the Sith want. They want to lure you in with the promise of all this divine power,
mm,
right? So
yeah,
I like that little correlation. Don't really like the look of the Sith though. Kind of lame.
yeah. Well, I mean, also like I mean, as someone who doesn't necessarily like a lot of anime stuff too much, like the art style is definitely something I wouldn't watch if it wasn't Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, I think JT, I think you nailed it pretty much on the head for me too. I think more so than season one. Season one, I actually had like 3 episodes that I enjoyed in total. Um, but here I don't think I like in a single episode in its entirety. I like aspects, which is okay. I mean, it's not meant like I'm
Yeah.
definitely not the demographic
Well,
they're trying to
to
appeal
to each
to.
his own too. I mean,
Right, exactly. Yeah,
this is all of these Vision episodes, season 1, 2, and if they come out with 3, whatever, they're all experimental to begin with.
right.
So
Very
they're
Yeah.
trying to
stylized
hit
too.
hit
Yeah.
different marks, and
Yeah. So
And
that
for
they're
me,
all
season 2 is
different
just like season 1.
creators,
yeah,
Season 2
so
is
you
just
can't
like season
expect it
1
to
for
be the
me, where I
same.
only like a couple episodes and then aspects of a few, and then there are some that I just entirely didn't like.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag.
right. And I
So-
mean that was the yeah. It's not like I'm surprised here. I mean, this is fully what I expected, and I think that's what everyone should expect. Like
Love it.
since of that layout, you're not gonna enjoy all of it,
Yeah.
or in the entirety of it. But
Very
yeah,
dark.
I mean, it definitely was dark. That's for sure.
Yeah, that episode was my favorite though. I liked
Oh,
the Sith design. Thought it was pretty cool,
Yeah.
and I
it
liked
might-
how I liked like Jessica and I theorized that maybe the witch was like that Sith's master or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
so
might-
the
That'd be
pat
cool.
like the previous Sith was coming back to finish
back
the job.
to
Ooh,
Or like waiting for someone, that
Yeah.
could
Power off
finish it
to be like,
challenge.
to be like, okay, here's my new apprentice.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of Vitiate. He was waiting for his son to betray, the other brother that was wearing all black, and then
Yeah.
when he finally struck
Yeah.
him down, his eyes was like, "What have I
Come
done?"
with
He's
me,
like, "Come here, son." Yeah,
son.
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I like that actually.
Oh yeah, man. And next one was.
Yeah. Then this next one.
Oh,
I didn't like this one at all.
really?
No.
Yeah, it's
At
like
the end, I'll bring it up when you get to it.
Yeah. So, hold on. Is there a good shot of characters? Yeah. So it's like, so I don't even know if there's if there is any of this that is like practical, but it looks sort of like clay, in that sense, like sort of material wise. But yeah, anyway, it definitely has like a stop motion feel to it. And a lot of like later I'm gonna click through, but a lot of like stuff that just looks like a miniature, which I think it's supposed to look like that. But so art style wise, I actually don't dislike this necessarily. And I mean the overall plot of it with like Empire comes to a planet and like takes all the resources and sort of kills the population in the process. Like I like that aspect of it. It seems realistic, except for the end.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, like this is
So-
pretty cool.
Some of the movement definitely felt like a Tim Burton animation to some aspect, but at the very end when that ATST comes out and the lights shine on her, I'm like, oh, this is going somewhere pretty cool. And then it starts to move, and I'm like, why is that messing with me? And I don't get motion sick at all, but that really gave me a headache watching. It was
Yeah.
like choppy.
I love the fact they put those in there. Cool. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Snowtroopers, why?
Yeah, that was.
I
Awesome.
mean, I don't necessarily know why either, but it's a nice touch. You don't see them that often, so I do appreciate the different choice in Stormtrooper unit.
Let's see, where is it?
But yeah,
God, it's crazy.
and I mean the whole like them being force sensitive.
Is it?
Uh,
No, I think.
Like, see, I like the. Oh, wait, this is too much. Come on,
Right.
can we see the ATST, please?
Boom.
There.
That's a cool shot right there.
Yeah.
We'll leave that. So I like the backstory of like their mom being at least force sensitive, and or maybe even like sort of a Jedi, and sort of feeling the responsibility to rise up, and then gets killed. I like that because that goes right into sort of this timeline of the Jedi, or like even force sensitives.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Ezra.
But yeah, obviously this is stylized because I feel like in canon this story would end tragically, and they would get killed right then and there. But
Yeah.
I mean, as it is for itself. Oh, and also I thought like I mean they won, but then they're alone on this planet because I mean all of their people are dead, so they're all
Did you
alone.
really win?
The
um,
the moment where the one falls off and the other one pulls like that, I was like, oh, nice little Kenobi reference there. And whenever looking at the ATST, whenever doing that was kind of like a Rebels. God, I can't. Siege of Lothal, where where Vader shows up,
hmm,
and everything, and I'd clearly seen that, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but at the same time, I definitely liked the images of certain things and stuff like that, and I don't know if this one has any of the voice actors that I'm thinking of, but yeah, this one was okay.
hmm,
Wasn't horrible, wasn't great. It was okay
yeah.
for me.
For Pat, I think JT agrees with that sentiment of a few more frames couldn't have hurt, but
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't crazy, but it was also not terrible.
And the
Um,
next one
then
was
this next one, okay, see this next one, you might
Mhm.
laugh.
I'm in the
This is probably
minority
my
because
favorite of the season.
really,
Yeah,
I'm in the minority because a lot of people like this one for the little references and stuff, but I just can't get past. I don't know. There's just something about it I don't like, and I like Wallace and Gromit and like Chicken Run and that kind of stuff,
yeah,
but I just don't know. Something didn't feel right about this episode of me.
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean obviously it's like not like anything that I see in any serious way, but like with this one, they're just making it clear this is supposed to be that parody type of short. Like you're just going in with the expectation, okay, it's gonna, it's meant to be funny, it's meant to not be serious. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe that
Oh, the
helps me a
droid's
little
a
bit.
slinky. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like I know, Wallace and Gromit and that sort of stuff, so I just already like sort of um like have that in mind. But yeah, no, overall, I mean it's simple. I mean obviously like sometimes like some designs, like for instance like the like the bad guy girl and like the mom. Like I mean the design is just very hard to look at because it's just that cheesy, evil, I don't know, minions enemy or something.
Ooga booga.
um
It
no,
was
but
a
overall, I like the story of the mom, the embarrassing mom and the daughter and that race. Um,
I like that
definitely.
droid's chopper arms. He's got the little
oh,
pincers like
the like
chopper.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's right. The murder droid.
but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this one. It was like just a very wholesome episode. I did. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the droid is pretty funny. Very scuffed together, but yeah. And I mean,
Oh,
it definitely had a
oh,
lot of
wonder what
reference,
that
like
was
for
supposed to
instance, like
be.
the mantis or like a mantis-like ship and stuff, and like I mean Wedge. Wedge was like, damn, they really
Oh, that's
did
right.
Wedge dirty
Yes.
with his fan shop and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean here you have those cliche goofballs, and they kind of had like
That
Padme's ship, but in black,
that's
sort of
exactly what I was just
Danubian.
thinking, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice little small
no, it
family
was,
moment.
to be fair, because I knew about this one from that studio.
Hmm.
But when I read the title, I was like, oh no, what is this going to be? But it actually like was completely different than what I thought.
Yeah.
Um, oop,
Oh God, yes.
wait,
I've seen it.
no, I did a thing.
No worries. I'm as the best of us.
That's
Stop
why
recording.
I really like the fact that they're just doing visions in general because of how, like you mentioned, the comedic tone to that one, how we get all these different tones,
Yeah,
but all within the Star Wars universe.
I
Because that's
like
what I
that it.
really get out of
Yeah.
reading, is all the
Yeah.
different tones.
I like
Just
that it exists, but it's just not for me. You know.
yeah. They're all
Yeah.
not.
Like I would show if I had a kid, I'd show them that episode. Like no problem.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're all non-canon and everything like that. So you just enjoy,
Yeah.
and it's really
Yeah.
cool.
I like that they're giving work and exposure to all these different studios too, though. That it's not all
Right.
just one big studio
Yeah.
doing this. It's they're spreading the work out and
I
kind of
like
like how this season they even went more international.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this time it was a lot of studios from Europe. Like
That's what
there
I
was like
mean. Compared to
Spain.
season
There was,
one.
yeah, there was a lot of them. And usually that's also the thing. Like me and Avila, we watched it together, and like we were like kind of listening to the episode, and you could like tell by the voice work, like, okay, yeah, this is definitely from that, because like, you could always tell because of the accent.
Yeah, I like the accents in the second episode. Me and Jessica were cracking up when they first started talking. The kids,
Oh yeah, was that the?
the Screechers Reach, the Irish, like
Oh
sounding
yeah,
kid.
Irish.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Irish. Yeah.
it was. Yeah, not missable. Okay, what is going on with streamers right now?
Skynet doing some things.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
I'm telling you, Disney Plus is freaking impossible sometimes. All right, but the next one is the Journey to the Dark Head.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up too.
love it.
Yeah, I like the art style on that one quite a bit.
Oh, yes.
It reminded me of one of the ones from season one, the one with the twins.
Yep. It's
That
like
art style.
Naruto. It's like Naruto almost.
Hmm.
A little bit.
You had the animators from Avatar: The Last Airbender and a couple few other people out there that did some other stuff like that. And um, just I love it. That was my favorite
Yeah.
episode.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but it's
No worries, man. No worries.
not loading.
Skynet's
Well, you
evil.
guys probably at least remember to some degree, but yeah. I like the setting because I mean, it seemed like, or I mean, obviously, like even though it's not canon, like I don't know how about you guys, but like me, I still like try to my mind is just like, okay, where would it fit? Me personally, I was sort of like with like, okay, this is somewhere in the Old Republic, this is an outright war of Sith versus Jedi, so I think we're like in that. Oh wait, you got it.
Nope.
Nice.
As soon as you start talking about it, it's like, haha, we got
We got it.
him.
Yeah. So I like the setting over, or like the thought of the setting. Personally, not the biggest fan of the art style.
Oh God, yes.
I like
Sorry,
this.
I
Art style here looks really
That
cool.
chain kill was like Cell with
I
his tail.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I see these things like the tail or like the chain thing. That's like the stuff that I don't really like.
I
But
didn't like his helmet, like his little blanket mask thing at all, but when he took off the
Mongol
helmet, it got a little bit more cool.
Mongolian dynasty, man. I love it.
I'm definitely biased because I don't like this sort of art style in general. So honestly,
Or
I didn't dislike it. I actually sort of liked the setting and stuff. But yeah, I'll let the other ones talk a bit more about it because I think they can
No
give more
worries.
productive comments on it.
No worries, man.
I felt like this guy reminded me so much of Kare from the Twins episode in season one.
Mm,
That's
Yes.
why I was like, I just kept thinking of that episode for some reason.
Well, he does
I
have an
almost-
inner struggle as well, yeah.
Yeah, like I almost, when I saw the trailers, I think, for this season, thought it was a sequel episode and kind of got excited. But it's just very similar.
I've heard his voice somewhere before, and I was looking up it again, but he's probably done like a bunch of things. I'm just like spacing out on the name, but God, yes, this and the master and everything like that, and him trying to do another thing, and how they actually got like the entire room of the Jedi Council and everything. I love that little touch in there.
mm.
And just again, that's what I'm all about, is the Oriental philosophy and everything like that. And I love how they tie that in there with the Force and everything like that, not just how it usually is. And I love that stuff, man.
Well, this episode did a fantastic job showing, I guess, the wills of the Force in a certain way, because of the way that they were fighting up on the big like ring up top. She was gonna complete the main objective basically and blow up the one that was evil, but the one that was evil turned good, and the one that was good turned evil. The Force is always gonna balance itself out, which is pretty neat because the journey to the Dark Head wasn't to actually blow up the physical Dark Head statue. The
Mm-mm.
Sith got decapitated, and that was the balancing.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is pretty neat.
representative of the yin and yang and how that's always in flux.
Mhm.
And again, that's just the Oriental philosophy that I love so much. It's not like taking out one.
You
It's
can't have
just
one without the other. Yeah.
it's literally the yin and yang.
Well,
And
no,
the fact they
you
put that
can
in
have without Sif. I mean, that's the point. But yeah, I mean, it's about
That's
you got to cut off the
beautiful.
actual Sif's head, not some, relic, and that's gonna fix everything. Like the war is gonna rage on. Like that's not gonna change anything.
I mean, it's beautiful, man. I love it.
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
episode. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes,
Yeah, man.
I think we're.
Sorry, that was just my favorite.
I know
I
Charlie
love
is.
Let's
Yeah,
check. This is the Spy Dancer, so I know we were
Yep.
already talking about this one earlier.
Yeah, I do not want to screw this one.
So I mean, overall, again, art style not necessarily my thing. I like the thought of it, like a rebel sympathizing, establishment, hosting events for the empire and sort of using that to gain info or just stay under the radar. Um,
Did you see that
and I-
protocol droid mannequin?
Yeah.
I just now noticed that.
The makeup, yeah.
Somewhere to hang your hat, man.
Man,
Yeah.
C-3PO should have worn a necklace like that. Damn.
You know,
I like
and,
that everything does look
Optic when he
cel-shaded, though.
drops the robes and shows his golden physique.
Oh, yeah. I got a
Oh,
new
good
paint job.
callback. Tartakovsky.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like
Yeah.
that. Again, I like the thought of that story. Later on, the only things I didn't necessarily like, or when my brain is just sort of like, okay, was when she was like, dancing around and like defeating all the stormtroopers. That was like the point where I was like, okay.
That,
That reminded me of the opera.
Mm.
right,
like the KX
yeah,
droid.
right, and also when I seen the white, I was like, oh, nice, more of the director Krennic thing and a K2 Terminator model.
Mhm.
And yeah, definitely the opera. I can definitely just see that, and yeah,
That security droid was menacing. When it was climbing up, it was like...
Yeah.
grabs it.
Definitely Terminator vibes. Yep.
yeah, it's
Oh man, that's pretty cool.
Look at that, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
You got any
Imagine
games on
opening
your
it-
phone?
Congratulations, you're being exterminated. Please do not
Right.
resist.
The complete inverse.
And these guys knocking on your door.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Man.
Her eyes are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are there
Yeah, that's
two different
appreciating
colors?
to have these eyes in general because all of them had like those different eye colors.
I know, and I forget. There's another thing out there of how that's actually a thing. I don't know the medical term. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something dichotomia.
It's
I don't know.
Something
called
like-
husky eyes.
yeah,
Yeah.
nowhere
You
gonna
can
spend
skip
too
forward
much
a bit more.
thing on if you don't want to. But yeah, first I was just like, oh, it's okay. And everything like that, I was like, why was there no too much killing or nothing at all like that? And then I felt like a fool because I went back and a friend of mine showed me a little podcast and stuff like that. I was like, no, it's based on like a person. I'm like, oh God. And it made sense about the bugs and stuff like that and what they were throwing on them and everything because I don't know, just little things. And I was like, okay, yep, I'm an asshole. But yeah, it's very cool, man. I like the thing behind it, and I like this. Oh God, I love that shot.
Yeah, getting some walkers.
Yeah. But their escape ship is so cursed with the TIE fighter wings. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that. That ship is ugly.
I can't look at that design. It's so hideous.
The wings are supposed to be placed where there's, angled to be like aerodynamic, to make it
Yeah.
look like it's gonna head that direction. But these are just like,
Mm.
rests down.
This is a cool shot too.
Yeah.
At least they're gonna
great.
collect a lot of sun to recharge that ship.
Yeah,
at that
solar
angle.
powered highways, exactly. Yeah.
I also like the design of this, like I guess adopted son of that admiral or whoever with
Yeah.
like that coat.
It was very imperial, like to
Mm,
basically kidnap, someone and I guess indoctrinate them into
yeah, but
your
then
system.
right, and I also
Yeah.
love the aspect of his eye patch covering his discolored eye, and then he like got his horns removed, or the other one got his horns removed. Like that plays into the whole thing of like the Empire being very racist towards alien species.
Yeah, there's a good look at it. His horns shaved down.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, yeah, these kinds of aspects I do appreciate and like, but yeah,
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like
I
they
think
did a
that
good
was
job
really it
bringing
for.
in those little aspects from the overall empire we know.
Mm.
Rest in peace.
I like this one
And
too. Some of the art
um,
style of this one.
see,
Oh
this
boy.
one had so much potential. Because I actually decently enjoyed the art style
Oh,
because it was similar or it was mimicking Clone Wars, but it was overall just
Like
too Indian. And don't take that in any wrong way, but the you know
um,
in
look
some
at here.
aspect, yeah, Sunube,
It
Terra Sunube
it
just chilling.
definitely no, like what you said, it definitely didn't take bits of a culture. It kind of relied heavy on that culture. It felt more like India with a side of Star Wars
Yeah,
than more so than Star Wars with a side of India, you know.
that's also how Avila put it after we finished it. Like it
Yeah.
felt more like an Indian story with a tidbit of Star Wars
Yeah.
sprinkled
Yeah.
over it.
I didn't mind it. I just felt like it was maybe somewhere in the Star Wars world where it's more that culture.
That wasn't
yeah.
even like my problem. It was just like a lot of the little issues that added up that kind of took me out of the immersion. Like
Mm.
they get in trouble for like stealing candy because she made a stupid decision to use the force in front of people in public.
Yeah, in front of everyone.
Yeah, and
Look
the
at
other
these
don't even get
aliens.
yo, the
No,
aliens
hey,
look
the
yeah.
goat guy from Clone Wars. I'm damn. Did
Yeah.
not see it till now. But yeah, I love the little thing, just like always, just of the force popping up, and they're like, "What's going on here?" And everything like that, and
Yeah.
The
everything goes to
troopers
hell.
look good.
No, yeah, the stormtroopers look. That they gave them these goofy blaster pistols though. They didn't have any E11s.
I didn't see their gun.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
That's a
that's a good
nice look.
shot.
Man,
Almost
Like the
looks like
models
live
look good.
action style.
Yeah.
very, very cool, man.
Very
Yeah.
different from Rebels.
Yeah,
There we
there's
go.
the pistols.
That's a nice image too. Another image of what you don't want to see at your door.
We just
Yeah.
stole this thing down the barrel with 45 by Shinedown, but I did not want to get copyrighted for you.
That dude on the far right there is a he's that one species that live on that upper planet that Asajj Ventress was like
Yeah,
with the bounty
and
hunters.
Boba.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Almost has like a beak.
Mhm.
That's an interesting looking alien too.
Yeah, what's going on over here? Yeah.
Like these scenes are really nice. It reminds me kind of Jeddah.
Yeah,
Like how we got to see some more of the streets.
Yeah.
it's very cool.
Yeah.
See, that just
This
doesn't look
was
like Star Wars to me. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
lollipops.
Did
Well,
it
Sitting
yeah, I mean,
outside.
here's the thing, like, I
I
mean,
carry
yeah,
on.
the duel was actually well done. I'll just quickly say, like, what I'm saying with, like, the reason why something like this um doesn't necessarily feel like it fits greatly isn't actually because of the story. I think the story is actually was pretty good. Um, but the thing about Star Wars, and that's what I said about before Vision Season 1 even came out, the thing about Star Wars is that it already draws from so many different cultures and, philosophies and puts them all together, which already means that, all of that stuff is already included. But once shift it towards one culture too much,
It's just
then it
feel like
starts
one,
feeling
yeah.
off because that's not how it is. So even if you go to a place that's Indian inspired, for instance, things like music wouldn't always be like Indian music, or it would just be inspired by it. So yeah, I mean that's the reason why it's stylized. That's why it's part of Visions. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, like when the
Yeah.
purge troopers
I
like
just don't mind
falling
it.
back in the
No,
slow
I don't
motion. I'm
even
like,
mind.
and the music's playing. I'm
I
like,
get it.
what?
I mean, anyone is not is allowed to not mind it or enjoy it, and I mean,
No, it's
I'm happy for it. But yeah, just as sort of the standpoint, that's just how it is.
very good.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's how it is to some people.
well, yeah, I mean, we're not gonna.
Well,
Yeah, obviously, don't be an asshole. I mean, that's
Besides the
That's
point,
what I'm
though,
saying.
add
Yeah.
another list. Add another Inquisitor to the list of incompetent Inquisitors that I just don't
That's
care
the
about.
point of
'cause they never do
Inquisitors. They
anything.
always suck.
See,
That's their
I
whole
always-
design.
okay. See, now being very honest, the real reason why I don't like this is because the Purge Troopers didn't do shit.
Dude, I verbally sighed like when I was watching this episode when the Inquisitor got cut down. I'm like, like,
Yeah,
They didn't do
he had the
anything.
mustache, man. He was supposed to be the
Every time an
horrible-
Inquisitor dies, JT's
Suck.
mental health decreases.
next time I see a new Inquisitor, I'm probably just gonna sigh before they even do anything because there's so many. Even Survivor, the ninth sister, I don't know,
we'll get
whatever
to
the
that. We'll get to
Well-
that.
Sana Tide. Just come on.
No, it made sense in Survivor though, because cows came a long way.
But what did she do?
She showed up to remind you how far cows came since last game. But this
That's-
was also
that's-
pretty heartbreaking, seeing the sister being separated because of her
yeah.
sensitivity versus
Yeah,
the brother
back-
having to just, be like,
Right
okay.
back to the Jedi thing and all that sort of the separation and things and
And it's interesting because this way we got, the version of like a Sith, taking away someone from their family or friends, and here we
Yep.
got, the Jedi version of.
Scorcher's Reach and then go into this with the
Yeah.
Gulag.
No, I mean
Yeah.
overall, I actually like the sort of base story, of that brother, trying to get his sister to safety, and then finding a Jedi who brings her away, but.
I love the reveal of that Jedi.
Mm.
Maybe, but the next one was
The Pit. Ooh, very dark one.
This one was slow, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the visor. A little,
Yeah,
blacked
they
out.
colored the bits that should be still white already, but yeah, I mean it's the art style, but
It's very interesting. Different looking.
I believe Steve Bloom was a voice actor in this episode. as
Yes. I don't remember what character it was, but I was looking it up just a minute ago, and I was like, I'm glad you said that.
so with this one, I'm not gonna, I'm trying not to emphasize it too much, but not necessarily a fan of the art style, but I did like the story of like the Empire. Like it kind of went in line with Andor's story of like, humans are cheaper than droids, and that's how this one felt too. They're just workers, and once their job is done, they're just left there to die.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it definitely showed the
Crazy.
brutality of the Empire.
yeah.
The animation, like the color palette and everything, reminded me of like the Boondock, cartoon.
Yeah, and honestly, it kind of gave me, or I think even Avela actually noticed it. Like, it gives Batman Free vibes of Batman
Yeah, the
flying
pit.
out of it.
Yep.
The Pit, yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can
Kind
see
of
that.
crazy. This is definitely further than I expected the Empire to go. Like, more sadistic than usual. Usually I'd be like, okay, just drop some thermal detonators down there after they're done. But
Yeah.
they're like, oh, let's just leave them.
See, I would really like to see this kind of stuff more in canon again, because I feel like we've sort of went from, okay, sort of Empire is the evil one to these sort of projects where you also see the side of like, well, in the Empire they're also just people, but then we shouldn't forget still, they do atrocious things is why they are the bad guys.
Rich
And this
dicks.
kind of stuff, like him getting thrown back in there, like.
Couple hundred
I didn't
feet.
expect that. That was surprisingly dark.
You can't even see the bottom
Yeah.
where you're gonna be thrown.
Bottomless, endless pit of
Gosh,
a...
Ooh.
imagine what a
Dark
fucking
fate.
bloody pancake is down there now. Like,
Oh my gosh, you would have popped like a balloon.
She's checking it out right now.
You should have made that noise too.
no, it's dark.
Yeah.
And
But
that
yeah.
wasn't even like a higher up Imperial official. That was just like a stormtrooper captain type figure with a cape.
Yeah, Yeah.
They were told to
Those
dig this hole for resources, and then the
Mm.
time lapse was pretty cool. Of
Right,
like
yeah,
the
the
city
time lapse
being
of the
built.
city building up. Yeah, that was pretty cool, yeah.
I do like the inclusion of all the species. How they
Mm.
did a good job of, even
Ditto.
with this weird art style, bringing in
Yep.
a lot of different
Yeah,
See some
things we
Rhodians, some
recognize.
corn. Yep.
yeah.
Twi'leks.
Twi'leks. Yeah.
You know, I
Oh,
like those Twi'leks.
oh yeah, definitely very,
Ithorians, four throats.
Yes.
definitely, very easy on what? Um,
The authority.
what? Weird.
Jesus.
Say it, man. Everybody needs
Oh.
love.
This was dumb. I
Love.
didn't like this part.
Yeah. This was like
Really?
this was a
Didn't make any
really well
sense.
done story. Don't need Jedi, but
You gotta have that little hope, man. But no worries.
Nah.
oh,
Felt
but
really
yeah, I mean,
forced into the story. And especially the end credit scene. I mean, it's kind of a
All
cool
right.
like mural of like the episode, but
No worries.
yeah. No, I was surprised that there was an end credit scene.
we don't get an end credit scene for
From
Ahsoka's
Mando season
episode
3.
for that, but we get this.
No, I mean it's
Wild.
cool art. I mean it's not,
Yeah.
Orbesh. It's nice, but
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Sabine. Something she would do.
oh gosh.
Pure
See, this
graffiti.
is the one. I'll say this off the bat. If I would not have watched this with Avela, I would have walked away from this one. I would have not finished this one.
Is this the last
I
one?
really
I didn't watch
dislike
the
this
last one.
one.
I didn't watch it at all.
I dislike this one so much. Like
This
I'm,
one
I'm
has a
sorry, I'm
scroll.
not even gonna make too many comments. I'll make a comment at the
Alright.
end, but I really did not enjoy this one.
No worries. The
Oh yeah, this is why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
Yeah.
fabric.
Fabric.
The banana plane.
yeah, go ahead, something.
Those little hairs.
I'm doing what you're doing now, and I was like, "Yep, I'm good." I've seen enough visions for today, because I binged them all.
Yeah, we did
Word.
too.
Yeah, the nice little family thing.
Yeah, I mean it's not too much happens. I think we can jump forward to the kyber crystals.
I mean, I still, even though it's not an art style I really enjoy, I can tell they put a lot of work into it. That they did a good job with like detail.
Yeah,
the
I mean
effort and
it's
story.
That's what I was looking at, just stopping at different scenes, the different hairs. This is kind of cool.
Like that.
yeah, I mean it's just the whole thing with like I mean, first of all, like with the backstory, what they write in the beginning, like the Sith, they bled all of the crystals on the planet, and I'm just like in my head with canon, I'm just like, that is so dumb. I hate it. Obviously, it's not canon, but
Yes.
Yeah,
like
that's
her way
getting
of,
too hung up.
bleeding it back instead of it being white, then it's just blue.
Just gotta
That's
remember
like
it's
the
not
amount
canon.
of stuff where I'm just like, I can't take it anymore.
It sounds like they're trying to create canon, from what I'm hearing from you.
Well, I mean, essentially, like, sort of the overall story is like there is, this planet, like it has like the kyber crystals in this planet have been poisoned by the jet. by
For
the
a split second, I was like, they're making a Quantum Mania episode? And I was like, oh, never mind.
Vision Season 3, Kang the Conqueror.
You're a goddamn idiot, Charlie.
Find it with
Okay.
Marvel. Yeah, no, and essentially all of them are, bled to be red. And then there's this like cowboy Jedi who's like, I don't remember if she's like sort of like doing it one by one, trying to get like redeem them. But yeah, then she just like sort of she sings and I guess uses the Force by singing, and like makes them all be blue.
Comes from the soul, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that studio's idea, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get too hung up on it, because it's just
Yeah.
each individual studio had their own idea, you know?
I'm a sucker for different scenic locations though. So when I was scrolling through those thumbnails and everything, and like even when you were just doing now, I saw a lot of like those rocky mountain structures, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. It looks like Pandora from like Avatar.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I was just
But
surprised
they
at the
didn't
detail.
leave. but they didn't leave that area, you know. Like even in Journey to the Dark Head, it's her when she's younger looking at rocks in some garden, then we're in the temple, and now we're up on this mountain. Like we're going to different places. Even the pit, it's not even in the pit the entire episode. We go to like a city, right? So there's some variation here and there. But in the Bad Batch season 2, when they do that bad deal and then they go to Hawaii for the whole episode, I'm like,
Jesus, don't remind me
come
that.
on, man. I'm good. I don't
Jesus,
need
no.
to.
Please,
I don't know.
no. I blanked it out.
But I think overall, I'll say that overall I probably still enjoyed more from season 1. Like for season 1, like for instance, like there are these episodes like the Elder or like the Duel that okay, Duel I didn't like the Umbrella lightsaber, but you know, like they're like definitely the Elder. I just overall enjoyed that episode. I didn't really have that this season, but yeah, I mean, I'm not being harsh on it in that way because like first of all, it's nothing that I'm truly invested in that sense. You know, I watched it once because it's Star Wars, but um yeah, I do think like this is still a fun concept of having this stuff that is not canon. I mean I'm just thinking they should do that for more stuff than just this, just to give more variety. But I would maybe like to see some studios trying to make it more like, you know, like the Elder, where it could very well work in canon. It's just not canon, you know. It's something else, and but I mean
Yeah,
that's my personal preference.
I don't mind the whole canon or not canon thing so much, as long as it's like as long I just take it with a looser frame of mind, I guess, where I'm not so worried about that. Because especially with like JT, probably he gets it from comics and reading novels all the time. A lot of it doesn't fit. A lot of it doesn't work with
Yeah.
what you might want.
You
But
gotta watch it, yeah, with a grain. You gotta take it with a grain of salt initially. But that's a dangerous path too, because in Star Wars, generally everybody's gonna try to figure out like where things are gonna fit to begin with, and that kind of coincides with like what they find personally is part of their story. So it gets
yeah,
really messy. But like something
It's
like the Dark or Journey to the Dark Head for me is like the same value as the Ninth Jedi in season 1, right? So there's always going to be like back and forth.
Right.
That's why I
Yeah.
yeah,
valued the season just as much as the first one because they all had stuff I liked, stuff that I tolerated, stuff I just didn't like. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
art. And,
No, so overall, yeah, it's
okay.
done.
But yeah,
It's
the
like
It's over. No, but yeah,
yeah.
nothing too crazy. It definitely, I'll give it that. It didn't have, you know, Starboy or whatever, that kind of trash. That was
What's
in season 1. Like I don't even remember what it's called,
the
but
Bohemian Rhapsody.
with like the fucking, you know, uh old man with that robot boy or whatever.
I will only give that
I
one a
don't know.
pass because it had the voice of Goku. Other than that,
Oh gosh, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't mind it. I feel like they're doing it in the right place. Like I'd rather
Oh
them
yeah,
have
no,
a
definitely.
place for them to do this kind of experimental stuff, rather than them be doing that in a mainline movie. You know,
Right.
taking those
No,
kind of
well,
risks.
obviously, I mean, trust me, I would be a lot, you know, I'm just, you know, voicing the things that I enjoy about it and I don't enjoy about it, which everyone is
Yeah,
free to do. Like, I'm not judging it on, in the terms of like being, you know, being made at all, because it's made in the right place, as you said. Like, it's not canon. That's exactly
yeah.
where
It's
it needs
not.
to
That's
be.
why I like the risks of it being taken
Yeah.
there, 'cause it's already known to not be canon.
yeah, every
Yes.
culture has a different take on everything like that, and art is yeah. Whether the person sees some people, it's cool, man. And just like I said, just those 3 episodes, oh, gotta love it, especially that the journey to the dark head. But yeah, I like them all, but those 3, ooh, 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 ooh. But again, nothing's gonna beat the duel, the Ronin for that one for me. Just because, and
Yeah.
also because clearly after that episode, I literally went and bought the hardcover book for that, and then the audio.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook for that. It's good.
God, look. Anyway, sorry, go on
But
tangent.
anyone
Um,
in chat, if you watched it, let us know what you thought about season 2. would be interested to know. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna dive into Survivor now, I'd say.
So if you have not seen it yet, get out if you haven't.
I'm gonna
Right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
nom on some victory candy here. So,
The victory. Nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, if you haven't finished the story, or
Get out.
I'd say with the side quest stuff, maybe also tune out if you haven't finished the bounty hunter quest, and if you don't know what that is, then definitely get out.
Yeah, because what type of
yeah.
monster would leak that to people?
Yeah, I know.
Uh.
We're gonna talk about that when it comes up, but
Assholes.
yeah, I'd say we just go around, because like, I mean, Charlie, you didn't play, but did you watch like a playthrough?
Dude, I had to dodge everything because just like few of you guys have said, like, but for some weird reason, some idiots have this fascination, just like, look what's in here before you even do anything, and
Yeah.
so I literally had to dodge everything. There's this person who's done every single cinematic from going back to the Arkham games, since I don't have like a console, and I'd go to that, and it just makes like a movie out of it and everything like that, and just watch everything. It has like every single cutscene, has some of the, most of the playthrough actually, and I sat down, watched it. And so just long story short, yes.
Yeah.
there are some games where you can do that, where they're like YouTube channels that will conglomerate all the cutscenes to basically tell the story without playing it.
Yeah.
And that works, but other games that you just need to play through by yourself and then get the cutscenes as they go on, because that's part of the story. Like your gameplay is part of that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, those exist too. Yeah, I mean, I watched, like, I did that with a lot of the Halo stuff. I didn't actually play it, but I watched like
Good
you know, a
times.
silent playthrough. That's actually pretty enjoyable. But anyway, something I just wanted to sort of give off right off the bat, because I see it so often, and it irks the shit out of me when I see people just having very egoistic ideas about that whole thing. So it's about the whole spoiler thing. So I mean, obviously, this is a subjective thing. There isn't a law, you know, to the correct way of, you know, waiting on spoiling stuff, or in that sense. But I just, for myself, I think there's a grounded headspace on certain things. Like, for instance, like for when there's like a series that comes out, usually the way that I go about it, if I want to make like an edit about it or something, I wait like about 2 days after the episode, because that's just a fair amount of wait time. Because with an episode, it's about between 20 and 30 minutes of your time. Like, yes, even if you work, you're like, and if it's that important to you, because the thing is, I mean, people that don't mind it, they're not going to go then on your post and be like, oh, I hate you, you know, you spoil it for me. If it's that important to you, you'll just watch it, you know, after work when you get home, and that's it, and you're still fine. With a game though, it takes time to play through the story. So to everyone that then was like, you know, posting shit like a day or 2 days after it came out, you're a fucking dick. Like, you're just an absolute asshole.
Can I
Straight up
just chime in
small-
real here?
small-
Because
small-
I
small
was
dick.
I was spoiled, and I guess this all comes down to choices, and what person is what kind of person. Right?
Yeah.
I was in Kentucky for a wedding for my cousin, so I didn't pre-order the game. I couldn't get the game day one, and I'm on my phone for a second. I'm on YouTube, right? Because I just had an off second. I think I was showing somebody something, whatever, and I didn't look up the title of the game, didn't look up Survivor, anything related to it, Fallen Order, stayed away from it to begin with. YouTube just recommended me a trending gaming video, and in the thumbnail was Cal Kestis like this, and then Boba Fett's freaking side of his leg, and I'm like, oh, great. And then, like, a little bit after that later, I see Darth Vader goes ham, and it's like him with his lightsaber inside of Cere, and I'm like, oh, I know he's gonna come in the game and kill Cere now. Like, that's just annoying.
That really sucks. Yeah.
And that's like the first couple hours of the game being out in day one. Like, how do you even complete the game that quick? It's like they tried to beat it quick just to spoil the end. It's like those specific type of people. And like,
I think they're just trying to. I don't think they're trying to spoil it on purpose. I think they're just trying to be the first one. You know what I mean? To get
Yeah,
the views and shit too. I think that's another
right,
angle to it.
exactly.
They got their views and their comments were lit up with hate because you can't put
Oh yeah.
something like that in the
See,
thumbnail
this is
to
the kind
just
of
come
stuff
across.
where I know there's the saying of like any publicity is good publicity, but with stuff like this, at what cost? Because like if there's one type of person that's gonna take you apart when they're mad, it's a Star Wars fan.
And
um,
that would have been a lot better of an experience too, playing the
yeah,
game, finding out Vader shows up like, oh, dude, I know he was in the first game, did not think he was gonna appear in the second one, and finally ends here. I'm glad they didn't spoil the Bo Dakuna stuff because that's like pretty much the main twist.
yeah,
But
But you got to think about it this way too. It feels like it's almost like how with the reviews and critique side of Star Wars, there's the level-headed, like seeing it with neutral eyes group, and then there's also the I'm just specifically looking for what I dislike group on YouTube. And I feel like there's the people that are going to be nice and do their playthrough right and not put stuff in the thumbnails, and then there's
yeah,
also those YouTubers that are just taking advantage of the dark side, the
yeah.
quick way to power. You know, going
I
look in
just
my thumbnail.
good
And then
or
there,
bad people, I just don't understand why you need to put it in the thumbnail right away to
right,
spoil everyone.
yeah,
I'm
and I
just
mean,
saying, don't support those kind of YouTubers. Just like I don't support
Well,
those kind
yeah,
of
well, I mean,
hateful
JT
but that's
can't
YouTubers.
do anything about it.
but that's the
Recommend it.
thing.
I
But
mean,
that's the thing I said though. Like I didn't
I'm
even
not.
look
I'm
up.
not. I'm not
I
saying you. I'm saying everyone as a
yeah,
whole should try to
no, I
not
agree.
support
Like
those YouTubers.
the thing about that is, and like I understand why then it's like really tempting to click on the video and then write your dislike comments, so to speak. But I know like a lot of people should. It would really help the space in general if people would understand that by not clicking on it at all and just being like not interested in the video, and you know that it really never gets shown to you again, would be more productive, because then the algorithm is like, oh, nobody's watching this shit, and like the channel dies
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
I
So
could try to avoid spoilers by not looking up specific YouTubers, right? But YouTube recommending me the video anyways, and it being a thumbnail that I just scroll across, there's nothing I can do. No
yeah,
I
matter how
know.
many people I try to avoid that are like that, you know.
No, I
yeah,
know. I'm not blaming you for that. I'm saying, in general, because we are becoming aware of the fact that there are assholes like that. What should be done, how we should address it, I guess, going forward.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even with like Bad Batch and Mando though, like I wasn't spoiled like that, you know, like that was
yeah.
pretty important and bold.
And then there's the other side to it, because like for instance, like me and Avail, like I played, like when Avela was still here, like I played through the story mainly for her. But we played through it, like we didn't pre-order, but we pretty much bought it like the day it came out, or we bought it the day it came out, and we had the story like completed in 2 days, and then also like the bounty hunter quest, um, because Avela saw on someone else's story. And see, that is like a nice thing to do. At least like someone already finished like everything, and they put just the story out of like, hey, if you haven't finished the bounty hunter quest already, do it now so you don't get spoiled. Like that kind of stuff. I mean, then it's still, you have like a feeling of, oh, okay, something sort of crazy is gonna happen. But at least then you have that, and a neutral heads up, so to speak. So
Yeah.
um,
And Strike, by the time you warned me, I've already seen the
no, I
thumbnail right
know. I
there. So,
mean, well,
Same.
obviously, it still took us some time to play it ourselves to
yeah.
know what it even is, if it's
I'm
worth,
glad you at least
being
tried
like,
though, you know. Yeah.
yeah, no, obviously. I
Like,
mean, I even put it in PMPS Den group, like, sort of like, hey, like, guys, I really don't want you guys to get spoiled. So, like, if you can, do it as fast as possible.
that one got spoiled for me, like, right, maybe a couple hours before you posted that. And then I was like,
Uh,
well, I don't even want to try to warn anybody because it draws more attention to this. I was like, I don't even know what to
yeah,
say because
Damn.
I haven't finished the game yet, but I got the gist of what I needed out of it. I mean,
yeah.
if we're allowed to speak spoilers now, the main
No, yeah, of course. I
takeaway.
mean, it's been like over 2 weeks now, and that's the
That's
counter
that's
thing
long
to it.
enough time. That's
That
long enough
Yeah.
time.
Right, exactly. Because that's the counter thing to it. So, like, for instance, with the Boba, like, I'm just gonna say, in the
Here we
bounty
go.
hunter quest at the end, Boba shows up. Obviously, I was very excited about it. And like then there was like at least 2 weeks had passed because I waited. So I really wanted to make an appreciation post about this because I thought it was just really well done. and then the official like Boba Fett fan club put out like after 2 weeks at some point finally like put out like an official post of like Boba showing up in Survivor, and then I was like, all right, I mean if they put it out, then I think it's time enough now to put it out. Some I mean he was not being too mean about it, but he was like, oh yeah, thanks a lot, I haven't finished it yet, fuck you, like
Yeah.
come on, it's 2 weeks. Like
Yeah. To some degree, you just have to remember the internet's a public forum too.
exactly,
So
like I
we
mean
can't control what anyone says. We can just not support it or
gotta be
support it.
me I just feel like I waited a decent enough time to be like, all right, now I can put it out. It's fair game now.
If
Yeah.
I was still playing the game within 2 weeks and then I was, spoiled from someone like a group like that, I'm kind of asking for it, right? But like
Yeah.
day one, within the first couple hours,
No, I mean that's
accidentally coming across it, like,
yeah. No, I mean that's just being really assholey. But now that we have that cleared, let's get into the actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I 100%. And not only did I 100% the game, but I got platinum trophies for it, right? Because when you go for platinum, you technically don't need 100% of every little thing, like all the treasure, the scans, and the force tiers
okay.
and all that stuff.
Okay.
Which was pretty. But that's on me because I didn't read like the description of what you need for each trophy. But yeah, I just ended up doing it anyways because it didn't take any time. Because when you get to a certain point with certain collectibles, you unlock some BB abilities where you open up the map and it tells you where everything is anyway. So it just takes like 2 seconds to run through the map and grab it.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. Did you finish the parkour stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh, and there was like what were there, 2 or 3 different parkour force
I think
tiers.
there's 3.
2
Yeah.
or 3. Yeah, something
2
like
of
that.
them are really shit.
One of them was a wall dash one where you had to go through the green fields and then up, and then you had to keep boosting. The other one was the zipline one where you had to go back without the electric touching you or something. I don't know. Those took me a couple tries. But I think the thing that took me the most try, not even the Rancor, because I did all of this before completing the game like an idiot, so I just been spending time trying to beat these without like dark side
all the
abilities and like
yeah.
all the upgrades and stuff like that. What took me the longest was a 40-minute debilitating back and forth with the spawn of Ogdo Bogdo with the fall of that pit. Dude, okay, so it doesn't even matter what difficulty you're on. If he gets you with his tongue, it's an insta-kill bite. Insta-kill. You can be at any health, any difficulty, doesn't matter. And on top of it, the ability glitches because he does this like close range double chomp thing. If you're standing in a certain spot near him after he does that, he'll immediately activate the tongue and it'll go and grab you instantly right next to you, and it just kills you right away. Like there's nothing, you can't even jump out of the way either because it like homes in on you. It was bad. I was a little bit. I haven't felt rage like that in a little bit, but yeah. For the most part, the boss fights and stuff were pretty easy. I didn't play on the hardest difficulty. There's no trophy that even requires that, so why would you even want to, right?
Yeah.
That's just pain.
I'll fully admit to it. Like we just played story mode or whatever that is. Like because like I mean I mean obviously it's not that difficult then, but also it feels the most realistic. Like enemies that should only take one hit, and like that just feels realistic. Lightsaber just.
I played the one in the middle because I think there's like 5 different options of like difficulty. I played just middle of the road, whatever. Parry timing was alright. I'm not into Souls games, but I played the first one and platinumed that Fallen Order, so it wasn't bad, right?
Yeah.
I need to just stop because I was kind of basically the reason I haven't finished the story is because I've been doing what you did, JT, and I've been just getting carried away. Like I'll be at a place already, so I'm like, well, I want to go over here too, and over here too, instead of just going through the main line, story.
Yeah, and it's easy to get lost specifically on Kobo.
You gain later. That's like why we.
Those places I leave, but I still narrow it down to the point where I'm like, okay, I know I can't go here, and I've went everywhere else.
Yeah, I'll remember that for next game because Fallen Order didn't really require that all too much. Because in Fallen Order, you unlock double jump later on, and all that kind of stuff later on, which is understandable. But in this one Survivor, you get double jump right away. Dash is not too far down the line, so it's already pretty favoring the player's movement ability,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice. That's one of the
Yeah.
gripes that I had about Fallen Order is like I don't want to feel restricted. Like I get double jump at the end of the game, right? But no, like something like Kobo, like that's the biggest. You'll spend the most time on that planet, and
Yeah.
it's just like the first
Yeah.
game where there's only like 5 or 6 planets, but that planet specifically, yeah, I'm gonna remember that for the next game when it comes out. Just go through the game first, and then come back with all the abilities and everything to get, all the extra stuff because there are a lot of walls that were closed and locked that I just had no idea how to open. It was
Yeah.
like a big red X. I'm like, okay, can't do that.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
and
just-
also like sometimes it's like a BD1 upgrade you need or some,
Yeah.
and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but overall, I think like just going over the story real quick,
Yes.
I really enjoyed this story. Like I enjoyed. So I
pretty
didn't play Fallen Order really. I just didn't necessarily like the combat. I really liked the combat in this one, honestly, for the most
There was
part.
dismemberment.
But yeah, the
Finally.
story I really enjoyed in this one too. I love the intro, in the Imperial gunship.
Yes.
And first you just see the security guards, the Coruscant security guards. And first I thought Cal was actually like, getting, or I mean, I had like, by the dialogue sometimes I had like a thought of like, oh, maybe this is like sort of that sort of job.
an undercover thing. Yeah.
Right, because of those two, was it Clatoonians? I think it was
Yep, the
Clatoonians.
twins. Yeah, the twin
Twins. Yeah,
Platoonians.
because they were that species and they didn't have helmets, so I was like, that's a bit odd. But really like that intro, also with that one stormtrooper from Solo, like right in the beginning as the first checkpoint. I don't know, like just the way it's set up. I mean, that's one thing I really appreciate about the both games in general is like in the cutscene specifically, the cinematography with like the camera shake, it really tries to feel like live action while already looking pretty realistic. So like it adds so much to the immersion. I really like that. But yeah, then also like, his entire crew getting killed pretty much except Bode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was and I was like, okay, now the stakes are pretty raised because the Empire's still at large because when they opened up that map, there was like a bunch of those red dots all over, and
Yeah.
and this is fairly early in the Empire stages, like not. What's the time period set in? It's like right before Empire.
This is 5 years after Fallen Order at this point.
Yeah.
So what movie era is that in? Is that
we're
like
not
right
in
after New
movie
Hope?
era.
Or-
This is still Rebels era.
Yeah, this is still
It's still
before
Rebels
New
era.
Hope.
Yeah, we're still like honestly way before New Hope.
So
Like,
yeah,
this
oh
is
yeah,
like-
right, because he's like what,
Really-
22, 23 years old, something like
that. Yeah, we're like in the prime time era of the Empire right now, where it really seems like there is no fighting back.
Yeah, so like
Oh.
seeing the Empire have that many locations on that map was like, oh damn, dude, they grew quick.
I love
And
that
there's
little
nothing-
mod I was about to say. Thank you, Lidosh. I don't know why I keep wanting to say it in French, damn it. But
He's Russian.
but I don't get it. Whatever. Lidosh. But no, really fast. I love at the very beginning, like literally what you said. You're just like, what the fuck, Hal? Frick. Yeah, there we go.
French toast.
French toast is great. God, I'm hungry. But whenever he's going like on the shuttle, I love how they included the same security droids that was after Ahsoka in Clone Wars and everything still on Coruscant, and you see him like that, and you're just like, come on, man, what the hell? Look out in the thing, and you see the Jedi Temple, and it's already Lord Sidious's
the
personal
Imperial
penthouse
banner.
up there now. So you're just like, oh man, I like that because like the most of the books and stuff. But the way when he gets out and everything like that, when this blah, 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 this is your master saying, chef, I'm gonna serve you up this way. It's like, no, you're not. You forgot the things.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that,
the
and
senator.
you just
Udall.
proceed to destroy everything. Those poor stormtroopers that come towards, like, yeah, no.
No. Yeah.
You
I mean, that's
trashed my
also-
space yacht.
Yeah.
That's also something
Love
I
that
really liked about just the attitude of Cal. Like he just, and that's what I love about Cal's character in general. He just, he's truly one of those Jedi that just, I mean, sort of gain that spirit of fighting against the Empire afterwards. Because I mean, obviously, he was a Padawan at first, so there wasn't much fighting against them spirit. But now he's like really he's aware of his abilities, and he's really trying to make a dent in the Empire.
Well, that kind of storytelling actually gives confidence to the player as well, because in the first game you're playing as Cal for the first time, and you come up across this creature super tall, is called a Jotaz or something. You're like, okay, I might be able to take you down. That is a scary looking big creature, you know. Whereas you play like the Force Unleashed, you're like, oh yeah, this is easy. Zap, combo midair, bring them down, right? But in the second game here, seeing the snarkiness with the senator, like, oh yeah, by the way, you forgot I'm a Jedi, and you're like, oh, let's do this, and you
Yeah.
as a player, you're like, okay, we're gonna mess some people up now.
Yeah.
So
No, I really enjoyed that, and also like what Charlie said, like I mean that's also part of why I liked the shuttle flying, because like Cal looking at the temple, I don't even want to begin to think what kind of emotions went
Dude.
on in him at that point, because that I mean
Yeah, he hadn't
he's
seen
really
it since fall.
yeah, because like some Jedi might not necessarily be too connected to the temple, but Cal always makes it clear that he viewed the Jedi Temple as his home. So like seeing the Imperial flag on it, I don't even want to know how much that probably hurts to see
Yeah,
in the
man.
memory.
I wish they took a little bit out of Kobo and put that onto Coruscant, because I would have loved to explore more of that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, when I saw that we could actually return to Coruscant, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but you only need to return like another time after the
Yeah.
first run through, and then that's an easy 100%. You know,
Yeah.
because there's not too much there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. That opener was hella powerful, and like you
but
get
yeah,
to see
then,
like what he's done. It's so cool.
Oh, but also the inclusion of the like first of all we have a new character, Bode, who in the beginning, like more and more I really liked Bode.
I liked him, yeah.
Yeah, like character like
Seemed
there
like
were,
a cool
two
guy.
things I really valued about him. Like first of all, he seemed like a nice guy. The brotherly bond. Then also like him saying that he's doing all of this for his daughter. Obviously, I'm saying this like when before a certain plot point. But I really liked him as a character at that point. And also the choice of ship, like the V9 Headhunter, like that was really sweet to see in live action. That was pretty cool.
Dude,
There's a certain point with his dialogue where I got annoyed with his jokes, and then once I learned the reveal, I was like, no wonder I started to dislike this dude. I was like, some of his jokes, I was like, shut up, you're annoying. Being with him at
the
times.
casserole better be worth it. Fuck you, guy.
Well-
You're in the back goddamn seat.
I am glad that wasn't one of the spoilers again. That I
Yeah.
tricked off.
That
because
wasn't
that
how-
was an interesting twist. I mean, Cordova has just as an important role as Seer in the first game, in my opinion. Same amount of screen time, I think. I don't even know. So for him to just go, poof, done, and then gets out of there, Empire comes in. It happens in a blink of an eye, and that's when I was like, oh no, dude! Like my eyes were glued to the
Right.
game.
I mean, obviously, like there's that whole thing, and like even now thinking like that's where I went from like okay, but he's just really twisted, because like whatever he said about he it wasn't necessarily against them. He's just trying to protect his daughter. Like he could have just taken the compass and left without killing Cordova. Like
Yeah.
that was his choice. Then
He goes
that
further
was
than he has to.
cold-blooded. Yeah.
Yeah, way later down, but yeah, I was
Um,
that twist was crazy.
Now, one thing I don't know how I feel about him being an ex-Jedi though. Don't know how I feel about that.
At first-
I would have been fine with him actually just remaining a bounty hunter and then doing what he has to do.
I would have been fine with that too. At first, I wasn't necessarily a fan, but then the way they explained it, at least it was, at least it was actually pretty intriguing, and it made sense of like the explanation of he fought in the Clone War and was like, an undercover, he was a Jedi that went undercover and was already connected to that intelligence officer when he was still part of the Republic military, but
It
then
makes
was
sense. Yeah, it makes sense for that aspect of the story, like where he would be in that placement.
mm,
But to me, it's just another he was a Jedi type character. Like they're throwing the Jedi title on a lot of people. Hey, it's to each his own. Like it's just not
yeah.
for me. It might
No,
be
I mean
for someone
I
else,
get it
but
overall, definitely, but like in this sense at least, I thought it was intriguing that that this I don't even know what the rank of the ISB guy was. Was it like
Oh,
yeah something? You know what I'm talking about. Um, but the interesting part about that deal was for me that he used that connection to protect himself, and I mean that ISB officer must have known very well that this could end really bad for him. Like, I mean, keeping a Jedi secret from the Inquisitorius slash Vader.
ha,
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, you get a Force vision at the end where there's a clear
ha.
end to that guy's story. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that is in itself an interesting survival story, at least.
There's just something more reserved for me about Jedi being alive in this specific era, right? Like to feel like they would have to be constantly on the run and not just we're okay because we're using a scapegoat through the Imperial, right? We're just hidden right now.
Well, I mean
And
that's
with
one.
what Ladaz just said, you would think someone wouldn't have sent him, especially Cal, right? Because even further in the game, for me, he starts to feel more like Luke Skywalker with some of the choices he makes, and like when he was talking to Seer, like you taught me what it was like to be a Jedi, and I forget who he was talking to, but you remind me a lot of someone because you made this specific mindset choice, right?
Mm.
And I was like, dude, that's 100% what it means to be a Jedi.
To
Yeah.
to this point, the way we've thought about it was that, like, I mean, the thing about Bode is because some Jedi, they just, they don't quite understand the undercover thing because they haven't worked like that. I mean, Bode obviously has been undercover as like his job, so to speak, during the Republic. And I mean, the thing about him is he has no temptation to ever use the Force because like he has a jetpack that takes away the need for like Force jump. He has blasters and like he's pretty skilled in like just normal combat. So I do think it's not that far fetched he would be able to like hide his Force ability because he literally not even by accident ever would use it. Um, so didn't necessarily, bother me like that. Um,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, it
yeah,
You didn't
definitely. I
even
mean,
find out that he was a Jedi though, like until after but betrayal happened. Like when you chase him around, then he uses Dagan Gera's lightsaber, and you're like,
right.
"You're a Jedi?"
I
You know?
loved that reveal.
Now, for a Jedi being alive in this era, Dagan Gera, that's where I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool because
Right.
he's been isolated with this rage for so long, right?
Yeah.
And he was a Jedi, but way back in the day. He's only alive today because he's been preserved. And like that whole scene with him bleeding the crystal, the explosion for me was a little cheesy. Yeah, High Republic era. Yeah, the explosion for bleeding the crystal was a little cheesy. I wish it would have just became red and then you felt the atmosphere in the room from the story instead of just like boom, whoa, now he's Sith, right? And then you fight him.
I don't know the voice actor, but he did so good. I recognize him from something. But
Dagan
yeah, when he
Gera's
was
voice actor is the actual actor that like is the
And the
facial
likeness.
scan of him. Yeah,
okay, because yeah, when he did that, comes out one arm and everything like that. You're trying to say, hey man, how's it? Could you join everything
It
like
kind
that?
of it kind of reminds me of that one elvish general in Helm's Deep that helps them. He kind of looks like that actor. I don't know. That's just my best bet
you're really
right now.
testing my Lord of the Rings knowledge right here.
No, I know who you're talking about, but it's not him.
I
He's,
have a
Not him.
face.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
looks very similar. But anyway,
this guy's much younger. I know he's been in American Horror Story. I don't
He's
know
a
what else
model,
he's
isn't
been
he?
in.
He's a model.
Yeah. I don't know what all he's done. I just know I've
That's
seen him
why
in
they got
American
that
Horror
shirtless-
Story.
No, I'm kidding.
It's the only place I've seen him at.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because he did a great little delivery on that when the kyber crystal bleed in that little area, and you're just like, and everything like that. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
it was
I
definitely
came
like
here to
Cal
bail
being
you
like,
out, man.
"Whoa,
What's
we
the
gotta
deal?
look
What's the
at
deal,
him."
man?
And it made sense though too, because him being trapped with that betrayal before being put in the back to chamber,
Yeah, that couldn't help.
that's what
Yeah.
caused it to immediately bleed like that, because he's been sitting on that rage for hundreds of years.
That was
So
funny.
Well, more,
He
more,
was already
yeah,
mad at the Republic, and then the Republic was gone anyway. So
yeah.
he's
yeah,
like, well,
Mhm.
damn. The people I
damn,
wanted to fight aren't even here.
yeah.
It was really cool.
No, but overall, I'll say also like me, I don't really know anything about the High Republic, so what I
No, I
saw
didn't
in
either.
here with exploring the temples and everything and like the flashbacks and stuff was like pretty much the only stuff. I
Yeah, I'm
really
loving it.
I really liked the aesthetic of the temples, and I liked the backstory. Like Avela has read some of the adult novels and stuff, and like she usually like told me stuff on the side when things came up, so she was like my tour guide.
Nice.
But yeah, I really like that aspect of the Jedi trying to spread out and like sort of um, spread their reach across the outer rim and further. Um,
Well,
so
Tanalor was a selfish desire too, so that was really cool for his character.
yeah, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. So in a way, I'm glad that that was sort of my actual first introduction, and I hope that Acolyte sort of dips into that area too, because I really enjoyed that, honestly.
The Wizard.
The adult novels, the audiobooks read by Mark Thompson are great. Just because Mark Thompson already does a great job. And then they add in the Star Wars music for the right tones, at the
Mm,
right moments. But kind of, there's actually a moment that's a trap within the book that I'm reading right now, Cataclysm, which is like the second book of Phase 2.
Hmm.
And they play into the trap from Return of the Jedi.
mm,
So it's like, oh my god, it kind of clicks in your brain, when you're listening, and them in the book realize they're in an ambush.
Little dramatic irony, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
The
cool.
yeah,
Um,
that Lord Bill. Sorry, Strike. Just
no,
real fast, my little two
yeah,
things
no,
of
go for it.
it was yeah, that whole shenanigans and everything like that of his cool character, just the shock and everything, and Cal's getting up there when it comes to power and stuff like that, which is dangerous, and we much find out later what what the fuck. But the uh the look and everything, and plus just watching and everything like that, and just you go to confront like, dude, what the and everything like that. The moment when that thing happens and pushes you, like you and everything, just it was it was good. Bad, horrible, but it was done in a good way from
Yeah,
my way of watching it and everything like that. But sorry, that was
Bad,
my
horrible even. You
yeah,
released a
horrible, even
Sith, but
horrible
good
decision.
story.
It was a horrible decision. I wanted to see him die, very specifically. But I like how they did it to the way that made me want to murder him and just grab his throat, and just crush it beneath my
Yeah.
hands.
yeah, and
Well,
also,
he gave in to a Sith trope. He had a selfish desire and he ran with
well,
it.
yeah, exactly. Well, he kind of, Bode in a way kind of went down the exact rabbit hole that Anakin did. It wasn't, because his daughter was actually in danger. It was just the fear of her, getting hurt, and that was,
Mm,
just obsession with keeping his daughter safe just drove him to the point of not having a sane mindset about it.
Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate,
Samuel.
and hate leads to being complacent and hidden in plain sight.
That's a good guess.
right. Yeah,
Um,
it'll
yeah.
cloud
But
everything.
see, the funniest thing about when he betrays them and kills Cordova, the moment before that, I was just checking out the entire sort of place there, and I went to the place where there are speeder bikes, and I was like, whoa, can I ride those speeder bikes? And like you couldn't, and I was like, come on, really? Like
That's
I
for
want.
later,
And
baby.
then
Don't worry
literally
about
like we
it.
start the cutscene and then we chase him and then like he runs to the speeder bikes and heads off and then it's like now there's a button. Fuck yeah! So that was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean that sort of thing happens.
That
But yeah, then
that
then also when Cal gets pushed off and then it's it goes black, and then it has like
Oh.
respawn. Like you have to manually click respawn. I was like,
I was confused.
first I was like, wait, did I lose? Like, should I have done more damage? Like, I thought I was doing pretty good, and then I was like, Cal's not dead, right? I mean, and then you play Seer. You're respawning. You're playing Seer, which, by the way, was awesome. Like Seer, they probably made her seem like a powerful Jedi.
That voice actress did an interview not too long ago, and everything like that. And yeah, she was, because I was at the same time I was watching Sam Witwer play this game, and it was amazing. Because like he worked with her and everything like that. So yeah, she definitely did very good on that, and like her, not just acting, voice acting, and all that sort of stuff, but just the yeah, it was cool seeing her because she's like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, that's what you're doing. And going a little step back real fast, and then you guys, but the reveal of that one Jedi still being alive, but then again, if you don't see a body, then what the hell? But seeing that they read that, Jedi Master and everything, that one you contacted and everything in the first one, you're like, you're alive? What the hell, man? Where have you been? And everything, and you find out. But yeah, that's a hell of a moment. So just did a
Shoot, had Vader been lazy and stood back when Bode made that call, hey, you need to come here. There's a Jedi here. Vader could have been like, I'll send an Inquisitor or I'll send a Legion of Stormtroopers. If he didn't come, Seer would have taken him out. I have faith in that.
Get into rest in peace mode.
Yeah, that scene.
Yeah.
Which was, I actually had a single tear come down my cheek because the music that was playing and Cal's reaction, dude. Monahan
it was mainly Cal's reaction.
Dude, Cameron deserves a freaking award for this.
I liked him in Gotham as the Joker.
And I like
me too. Yeah, which people are memeing on it because it's like so ridiculous. There isn't something in the plans, at least not officially, but there needs to be something Cal Kestis live action. Because
I think there will be.
He's the perfect age.
Like he's young right now. He's the perfect age. Like, fucking put him in something. Like he literally has like a little tidbit, behind the scenes with Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself. So, like,
yeah, he could come around in the Mandalorian era, and it would make sense to like the storyline too. That he's been in Tanalorr, and there could be where the path has been shuttling Jedi to. You know what I mean?
Even before that, I would like to almost like I don't know, like even like still doing sort of the Empire timeline. I think that could also just be very cool, where it's just a bit more fleshed out on like how their operation continues and stuff. Because now they have Tanalorr and they have the ability to hide people. They're probably mainly Force users.
I bet that's where Quinlan's been.
God, I hope so.
Hey, and finally, at the end of the game, Cal just didn't decide and cut the main objective in half. Where to next? That he actually kept the compass to get to Tanalorr, that opens up some play area with like what you're saying, with merging the other canon aspects of that, where he could be resting.
Well, we know that they were working the path.
Yeah. And this one, there was one that I almost didn't, or I didn't catch onto it. Vela catched onto it, but I think on Tanalorr there's a Force Echo and Oppo Rancis.
Yes, the Jedi Temple, the big beard guy with the squiggly bottom.
The snake tail. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's like the kind of stuff that I think is pretty cool. Like to know that he was like part of that operation, at least in that point of time.
Oof.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like JT's explanation, squiggly bottom.
Squiggly bottom. Squiggly bottom. No, but back on the scene of Seer's death, though. I mean, that transition was awesome. The way that it was framed to be like he was there but too late. Like maybe if he fought Seer with, like if he fought Vader with Seer, he would have had a better chance. But the fact of like her like stumbling back, falling down, and then as soon as she falls, she's like caught in the arms.
Yeah.
And the fire around the perimeter turns into like the ash.
Yeah.
Hey, he's just too late.
Dude, it was beautiful framing, beautiful. whatever they
Yeah.
did, whether it be motion capture, voice acting, whatever it was phenomenal because
Yeah.
the second it's like, at first you're just like, oh, okay, she's fighting ATST. Damn, this is crazy and cool and everything. And you had stormtroopers coming in, those one little guards and stuff, and you're ripping them apart and everything. And it's like, wow, she's really good job. And the moment though, however, when she hands something over to BD, in my back head, I'm like, shit.
Mm.
And then, things are like line up. And again, please go watch Sam Witwer's Twitch. It's comedy gold. He got to play it with no spoilers and just got to watch the whole thing. And he didn't know anything about it. It was gold, but just pretty much the same thing. As soon as you see that and like, oh, it's gonna be another Inquisitor or something like that, and you're just like, you hear you're like, oh no, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Sirius, nice knowing you.
You didn't even see the face in the fire. You just saw the fire through the door and the outline of his helmet, and then he steps forward. And
Well,
he's
I mean, the door. I'm pretty sure the door opens and then he's just standing there. And,
Yeah, but it's just dark. though.
Yeah.
You just see the outline of his helmet, and then he steps forward. He's like, "Whew."
Yeah.
You're done.
No, I mean,
Sir.
before, because Bode said, something, you should go, like something terrible is about to happen. Like in my head, I was like, okay, this sounds major. Like I feel like either Grand Inquisitor or Vader. Like, but yeah, I mean, as soon as Vader showed up, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
well now I understand why we're playing Seer. We need to play the character that dies. This is
He's
not
like,
great.
did I lose? The
Yeah.
screen goes black and you transition.
No, but you're about to.
No, but I thought the fight was also well done.
Yeah.
I loved that she didn't necessarily damage. I mean, she definitely hurt Vader, no doubt about it. But I loved, for instance, like that the fire was surrounding him, but like his suit was not burning. It was just the cape and some outsides that were just sort of
I was gonna say he was on fire. Yeah.
No, yeah, but like it was the cape mainly, but like the actual suit, because it's supposed to be fire resistant, wasn't. So I like that detail. But yeah, then also the end reminded me so much from the Old Republic cinematic Vengeance, like when Malgus and that Jedi fight each other, and when it's like both of them swoosh
He's like
at each
looking
other,
into him
and
from
then
the
you
side.
don't know
Yeah.
who got stabbed. Yeah, it was that kind of moment. So I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. That face to face was just like that. The way Big Baddie took your temple with such an easy done.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get the Malgus Black Series. That's actually coming out
Yeah, I
soon.
saw that one. Yep.
There's one coming out, like a sideshow? Oh, Black
No,
Series.
Black Series.
Oh, Black
Okay,
Series.
gotcha.
Like,
Yeah, they're
Black
finally
Series.
doing a Malgus Black Series.
Oh, they
I
better
like that
because
it's
we're supposed to be
actually
getting
the-
some Old Republic stuff.
I like that it's also actually the
Yeah.
the Old Republic cinematic, not the new one with the other mask. Like it's that sort of like the raiding the temple mask.
Yeah.
Liberating, as you like to call it.
Right. Yeah. No, I
Had
also
to call back.
really
Had to
liked
call
about
back.
the
I'm sorry.
dual.
Carry on.
I really like the visualization of the height difference. I really like when they do that with Jedi that Vader fights that aren't supposed to survive. I feel like then it's really important to show the height difference just to show how threatening he is. Because I mean, Vader at this point is just this behemoth.
He's getting more powerful and getting more used to his suit and everything, and starting to dial in his stuff. And it's just when the chosen one gets there, you're not living. It's just I love how they did that. It explains where all that stuff went and everything. How very convenient you've left the remains of it. And does that little Imperial thing and like, oh god. But yeah, that framing shot of her, coming in, do that, boom, and then you're just like, wait, what? Like, oh, okay.
I like that you were actually able to put up somewhat of a fight, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just running and then he's just like a quick cameo.
Zoink. And I like how he acknowledged they talked for the splittest little second. It wasn't like too much of a monologue, for Vader or something like that, because usually his stuff is very short, and you should not, unless it's like either Luke or something, Obi-Wan, something like that.
He's
you
not
don't want to
supposed to be
stretch it out.
friends. Yeah, he's not friends with you. He's
Yeah,
gonna
so
kill you.
that little moment of You surprised on your place and everything. The fact that you think that would have done anything is, oh God, I love it. And everything and just goes there and everything like that, hits the button, and you're like, oh boy,
You've
Mount
escaped before, but you will not again.
Yeah,
might come for you. Ah, that's so
yeah.
good.
It's
So sad,
it's
but epic.
it's very well done. Yeah, and I mean then
Mm.
after that, pretty much
Oh,
immediately, like then like they have to get out of there. Um,
yeah.
and that's like that's actually Avela's favorite part when Marin and Cal work together to get out of the place with that huge. Or is that even wait? Or is that before?
You talking about the digging thing?
Yeah, like the CIS
That was
like
before.
diving.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Is that before?
because that's where you unlock the
Oh
dash
yeah,
because
right,
she
right,
lets you
right.
go
Yeah,
through
that's
portals.
before.
Yeah.
But
Where
yeah,
you
Yeah,
want
we got to talk about that too.
Yeah, that
Uh,
Night
that's
that
Sister
was
Magic,
cool.
man.
that was really cool. That's
That's what
also
Night
one of my
Sisters
favorite
see when they
parts.
teleport.
Night
Yeah,
Sister Magic
like
is wizard.
literally. It was sort of similar to Ahsoka and Din Djarin, a Mandalorian and a Jedi. They'll never see it coming. It was sort of like that,
Yeah.
a Night Sister and a Jedi. Fuck yeah, like
When
Dude,
when
um,
you just
so
watch a Night
cool.
Sister teleport like that, you go pff, green smoke and then pff, in a different area. But what
yeah,
they see is like a Death Eater from Harry Potter, like
right, yeah, like yeah,
done. You know?
that is really
Yeah,
cool.
it's dope. Yeah.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of too? The freaking tunnels in Donnie Darko that you see your projected path on, How they kind of jump into a portal and they go through like a tunnel to where they emerge.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
Donnie. Is
don't
that
I
a
don't know
movie?
about that, but
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, there's similar like tunnels to what you see in this game. Just
okay,
they're not green.
Right on.
right,
Gotcha.
yeah, but that was
Dude.
really cool and just showed the
Yeah.
power they can have like teamed
Right?
up combined.
So some of the finishers you do too. Like if you press like I don't know R1 I think on the PS5. I don't know. But you press one of the top buttons and you can do like an attack that'll have either Bode or Marin, whoever's in the area with you. They'll actually do like a stun attack move, so you can go in and do some hits. But if
Yeah,
they're low enough on health and you do like one of those red circle
yeah,
finisher
yeah,
moves, you'll actually do like a tag team takedown.
yeah.
Which is
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
And also before that, the cheeky kiss.
Oh yeah, do you trust
Not
me?
gonna lie, Marin and Cal, I like it.
They're
I'm
kind
a
of a thing
fan.
now.
It's a
And
thing now. I
it-
mean, that was
it-
not even the point when it was a thing, but it's definitely a thing now.
Everybody
seriously.
split off in their own directions, but it only took Cal to come back and say, "Hey, I'm still fighting the Empire," and be like, "Grease, okay, I guess I'm going with you.
Yeah,
I got nothing
Yeah,
else better to do."
it's okay.
which
We're in
still,
there.
it's all, I
Yeah.
like Grease so much.
Oh
Yeah.
man. If you like the game too and you want a book to listen to, uh the book that takes place halfway between the first game and this
I
game
got to
Oh,
get
is
yeah.
that one.
actually pretty good.
When he loses his
I got to
hand.
get that one.
Yeah, Grease loses his arm and
Mm,
the fifth brother's in the book.
Definitely got to get that done.
yeah. Um,
But
but
God, yes, the
yeah. Then, well, I
man.
mean, at
Okay,
that point, it pretty much then after that, I mean, it just goes on with the hunting after Bode, really. Um, and I think then pretty much right off the bat, I think we're going to that Imperial base, right?
yeah, and then Cal's attitude kind of changes about some things.
Nova Garon, Nova Garon,
No, Nova Garon. Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
Mm,
Yeah, that was
And that
I like the asteroid.
no, I love the
good.
atmosphere of that whole base. It definitely felt
Yeah.
like a stealth mission, like End of
Yeah,
the Force Unleashed when you're on the Death Star running through to try to get to the end. That's what it was like. You know,
yeah.
you're undercover, and then all of a sudden, I'm gonna pull that guy to me, and then I'm going
Well,
ham on the entire room.
exactly. Like especially officers being there that are
Yeah.
have blasters. Like I don't know. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like the vibe was just really good. Like it felt like you were just here being trying to be very stealthy. Um, and then at some point when you've acquired the disguise, um, and then you can talk to a purge trooper. I don't know if you guys did that, but
I love
Yeah,
those
you're
discussions.
like
I
walking
love
through the
that
talk to a
hallway.
way.
purge trooper. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Why are you approaching me?"
Mm.
Like, like just showing his despise of the ISB. He's like,
I'm
I
here.
don't
Oh, what did he
trust the
say? I'm here
Emperor.
because you guys couldn't do your job
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Like, you don't deserve the Emperor's trust. I don't trust you. Why are you still talking to me?
Yeah, that's great.
And I was just like, hey man, I'm a huge fan. Love Purge Troopers. Hey, the Clone Trooper armor design. Like, I was just,
Like, hey man, what's up? Come on, man. We
yeah.
can talk for a second. Yeah.
And even when you're chasing Bode out of there too, like, we got a Jedi. He's not Imperial, and you're like in his quarters. You come out of there, and then that's when you activate the dark side for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, that moment.
Your slow ability becomes a slow plus damage boost.
Yeah.
And I didn't know
what a-
this playing through the game normally because I'd never lifted people up. But apparently, if you lift a battle droid up, you can crush them by just holding them there for a second.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you like a Star Killer
Yeah.
ATST, like, and they go
Oh,
into
I
a
gotta
ball.
test that.
Yeah, you have to be dark side. You just hold them in the air
Dark
for a
side, and
second.
then you just like pull them up. What?
Yeah, just hold them. Yep.
Crazy.
But yeah, there's that moment when you go ham on all of those officers and troopers. But there's another moment where you can do a dark side activation with a lot of enemies. Is when you make it outside. There's like the landing platform, like the
Yeah.
hangar, I guess.
The elevator.
There's like 5 DT sentry
That's
droids
when I
and like
did
more
it.
people.
That's when I did it, and you
Yeah.
just slice through them like butter. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it's pretty
It was-
satisfying. Not gonna lie.
It turns out that yeah, Seer's death didn't help anything.
Yeah.
And
well,
just when
well, I mean,
well-
it makes sense. It makes sense
Yeah.
though. After just losing Seer, and like
Yeah.
the stuff he says that sounds like
and also
Luke. This is
Cordova.
like perfect back and forth, like inner struggle Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard bad news about KOTOR lately, Ladaj. I don't know if you guys saw. He said maybe a KOTOR update soon, but
Uh,
all I've heard, rumor wise at least, is like not good. That there's no progress on it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
no.
But after, I mean, with all of this dark side, temptation and like sort of conflict going on, I really like, and I mean that's part of why I like Cal so much in general, is because he's a very, um, you know, what's the best word? Like he's very aware of his character, and like very sympathetic, I guess. And like being aware of that, this sort of like conflict or like the dark side usage is not right, and that he's like afraid of losing himself. But then I really like that Marin is giving him that closure of like, if he's ever getting to that point, like she and the others, they will be there, to remind him of who he really is. So like really showing like, that in doubt of yourself, like there, you need people around you that pull you back. I really like that.
Yep.
Dude, there was a little Easter egg homage of what's to come and everything like that. Just really fast, I just remembered this. When they were when they were on the planet getting ready to take down that one like machine and everything like that, when they first like reunite for the first time, she talks about fire and how it's warm and stuff like that, but at the same time, if you're not careful, it could burn you. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. Then it leads up to the when you're going to do the dark side stuff, and not it reminded me of that for parallel. I'm like, oh, but yeah, that little thing of her pulling back and stuff, because that Imperial officer was about to eat everything. And I love, whenever you go to his office that one time after everything like that, and sneak in there and jump down and everything, and dude, his head, yeah, his head, and how the fear that's in his, not just of what he's just like, oh, he's Jedi, blah 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 blah, everything. He says something about Inquisitor and Vader, like, huh? Wait, what? I gotta get like, you're not, no, I'm not going anywhere. So at the same time, he's got the fear like that, but like when you pull him and he hits his head like directly on that desk, and you're like, oh my god, they did it! Good, I want to see more of this. But it just so good. But yeah, like Marin pull back of the everything like that, and you just like, You're lucky she's here, kid. And just drop. Just did almost
she's
that.
Marin's definitely the light side where Cal starts to slip.
He doesn't go full
Yes,
joke.
and also, and I will say, meanwhile, Bode wanted to use that against him. I think he actually did something that's going to help Cal in a lot of ways. He actually made clear a important lesson for Cal that, like that having these emotions for Marin are not bad in itself. Like that
Yeah.
in this time frame, it's important to have people around you that are there for you, and that love is something that's going to be or should be important to him, and it's going to make him happy.
Yep.
Um, and that I think actually helped Cal a lot, even though Boat wanted to use that against him. I mean, in one Force Echo, he's like, can't
He's like,
believe I
I
didn't see it
got them to
before.
love each other. I
Yeah, that
told him he
fool was in
would.
love with her. Yeah. So, but he ended up actually doing something really good for Cal, because I do think it was really like it was a conflict within him, because Cal definitely felt this way for Marin, but because he was so loyal to the ways of the Order, like he felt like he had an obligation to not give in to those feelings. So
Well, even those like the last fight when you see Bode force push Kata out of the way, he loves Kata so much
yeah,
that he didn't want her to be anywhere near this fight, which kind of ticked Cal over the edge. Like, okay, I get you love her, but now you're not even doing it for her anymore. Like this is
yeah,
just 100%
Yeah.
selfishness. So
Yeah.
that like Bode also taught Cal that to appreciate Marin, but not have Marin's like love, like any friendship love, in the way of what your true values of being a Jedi are. Because look at Anakin. He loved Padme so much that he turned evil to save Padme,
yeah,
basically, you know? So he kind of
right.
it was like anti Anakin, I
Exactly. It's
guess.
like you can't lose your way to do that. Like you need to stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in that way, Marin is just really good because she gave him that closure of like we'll remind you to remain yourself. Yeah,
Definitely, man.
I like anything breaking away from the traditional Jedi Sith. So.
well, I always go back to that Book of the Jedi, which still came out in the George Lucas. At least this is one of my favorite things from my childhood, just because of the way it looks. It's like a bit weathered and stuff. For me, and like it's the book where it's also like the bounty hunter book and stuff, where like characters make comments in the book.
By Luke's.
And in that Jedi book, there are like also comments that Qui-Gon makes. And there's a comment that Qui-Gon makes on the passage of love and temptation. And about love, he makes the comment, if the living force is what causes us Jedi to have these feelings, how can it be wrong? Like the only thing that we have to make sure is that we don't lose ourselves in the obsession of like the feeling for others, or the fear of losing them.
Yep.
But
And
love
that's
in itself is caused by the living force, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
and
the
that's a
Jedi
very
Temple who was, the Order that was like, or what, we won't even go down that rabbit hole, so people are not even tempted, to mess it up with the, not no fear of losing them.
Yeah.
and that's a very Qui-Gon quote too.
Yeah.
Because that kind of also shows like why he wouldn't be on the Jedi Temple, like why he wouldn't have a chair. There's just like a lot of those little moments and ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Jedi: The Dark Side comic book, like the 5-issue miniseries, does it well. One of the issue covers is literally him pulling off his flesh off his
I
face
know that
too.
one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of internal struggle like that.
Yeah, so I really like that too. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. It was very,
um
very crazy and cool. And
yeah, and I guess then, sort of that end fight with Bode.
damn.
First time when you get to that point where it's like, press whatever to, use the dark side. Like first time I was like,
You missed it?
oh, not doing it. Like then you die. You have to do the entire fight again. And I was like, all right. Boop.
Yeah. I've heard a couple people miss that and everything like that just because they're like, She was, wait, I died? Huh?
Yeah. Well, because like it gives you the option, so I was like, okay, so do I have the option to not do it?
You have the
Hmm?
option to fail.
Yeah, man.
It's a
Yeah,
do or die.
do or die. Yeah.
Damn
No, I
right.
mean
It's
it makes
mine.
sense in that way, but then also, holy fuck, Cal took double tapping to the next level. He shot that guy like he shot both
Understatement.
3 or 4 times. Like one
Yeah,
time
like,
initially, and then like bam, bam, bam,
it's
while
ridiculous.
Kata was watching.
I know, right? Well, yeah, and also to be fair, Bo tried to kill his kid and everything.
Yeah.
He took it way too far. Like whenever, oh god, Marin like teleported up there at the top, and he was like, no, all that sort of stuff, and shoots there. He's like, dude, what are you doing? That's your kid. And that's when that like whenever you tackle and you both fight, which I love how they implemented the Night Sister magic in that. So like whenever you're both fighting and going towards like portals and stuff. Well done. It's well done.
And what also goes into like Bo just going down, the dark side with Kata and her interaction with Cal, like the first interaction where Cal's a nice person, so obviously he's being nice to her. She didn't do anything,
Yeah.
but like also then when you enter, the like the temple site, and she's leading you to her dad, like she's like she's acknowledging that her dad is like acting weird.
Well, she even said, "I don't want to be here. I don't even know why I'm
Yeah.
here."
Well, I mean, no shit. There's no one there. I mean, who's she gonna play with? Like, where are they gonna get food? Like, that's a really just fucked up life. They would live
Yeah.
there alone.
Yeah.
Like,
Saying ghost star to myself for eternity. That's a little bit creepy.
gosh, yeah, that freaked me out the first time you encounter, like, you walk
See,
towards it.
It freaked me out because of the resonance of finding it there for the first time, and then you go back to Kobo when you want to go
And she sings it in
planting,
the
and she
garden.
sings it again. I'm like, oh, where's that coming from? I'm like, oh, it's just her.
No, but obviously very very tragic, and I think, see, I thought when Cal was holding Seer, like that definitely hit hard, but honestly, where I actually shed maybe 1 or 2 tears was when they're all having that burial, and they're
Funeral,
burning
yeah.
the 3 bodies,
human fire.
and then Kata walks up to her dad and puts
Yeah.
down her like plushy animal.
Oh
Not gonna
yeah,
lie, that
man.
I don't know why. Like that was well done. I'm a bitch. I cried.
She knew he was bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no
it was. I
worries,
mean,
man.
it's
I'm sad.
it's dark. I mean, like that small kid losing her dad like that. I mean, that's dark.
Yeah, but what can you do?
Hey, what a pig!
Cal, like
Hey,
faster.
give
Sorry,
me
man.
one of those.
Here you go, victory candy. Here you go.
What the fuck? No,
Come on, man. Oh
You
yeah,
talking to me?
exactly.
Bada bing.
It was well done.
Or a forced dyad.
But yeah, that definitely struck. I know that, man. Just even watching that, you're just like, man, this kid thought the world were dead, hero and everything like that, and find out. I was like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
and then you, man, you got 3 funeral pyres and stuff, and just put the thing there symbolizing the death of like childhood. You're just like,
Yeah.
man, all right. And then the thing, they had like, what was it, a time lapse of like a whole day, because he
Yeah.
stands there for a good
Yeah,
night
Cal's just
into-
standing there. I mean, he
How
literally-
long was Seer's dead body and Eno Cordova's dead body chilling on the Mantis before they decided to do a triple burial?
Yeah, I was also like,
It's
damn,
real
they
weird
either have
in
a
the
good
back. What's
freezer
up
or
with that?
those
I
beds
don't
are
know. It's
stinking.
weird, man. Maybe just keep piling the shit. You sure? Something's weird back there. It doesn't smell right.
No,
Yeah,
Grease has a pretty big deep freezer for all that cooking he does.
Oh,
Oh,
my gosh,
no,
it's questionable
gosh.
cooking. It all makes sense now.
It's
Yeah.
it's next to the bantha steak.
Dead,
Oh wait,
dead
hey,
Jedi.
make sure you don't grab, Seer's arm or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like checking or something. I don't know. Wait,
Oh,
what?
man.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah. No, then also, so I personally didn't get the vibe that I don't think it was a Force ghost. I got more of the vibe that's just the
Yeah.
spirit
It-
of Seer. Sort
It
of,
was definitely a
like,
hallucination.
feeling the spirit of her, because I mean,
Yep.
it wasn't the blue Force Ghost. It was actually like
No.
this translucent, like seer.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even the
um,
screen has like a gray haze over it. Like he's not entirely seeing that physically.
yeah,
It also wouldn't make any sense because the whole Force Ghost thing was kind of a reserved ability to begin with. Like it took
I
Qui
forgot about
Gon
that.
and
Yeah,
Yoda and Obi Wan, and there wasn't a whole lot after. Or did Kanan
yeah,
even dabble with that? But that's not a word that just gets out, right? That was still pretty new at the time, especially like
It was
before
reserved
New
for
Hope
special
and
yeah,
people, but yeah, I like
yeah.
that. I like that little thing, and I like also how they did flashbacks of just Cal remembering certain moments from
Yeah.
like either the
yeah,
first one or in between the books. Which
yeah,
again, I'm definitely going to get that book. Thank you, Maul, for recommending that. But
Yeah,
No,
and
that's pretty
even
good.
when you have stuff like force echoes and like tears or tears, um, it's not necessarily a force ghost, right? Because even Dagan Gera has a hallucination during his final fight, and that's why he loses, right? Because he was kind of held up in his own mind of what he was thinking. But yeah, it's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
I saw that and I just took it as Cal like having internal monologue, but of
yeah,
what Seer would say, you know,
right.
and that we
Yeah,
just saw her on the screen for our benefit.
Well,
yeah,
no, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I think he was really like aware and like sort of feeling her spirit, really being in tune with the Force there. And I mean, also because Cal has that gift of the Force echoes. Like, yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on in him, definitely in general. So
that's what
very well
Quinlan
done,
Voss
though.
had. That's a force psychometry.
yes, sir.
It's like
Mm,
Aragorn. Like you can touch things and kind of see
One
their
of my
history.
favorite
Yeah.
Jedi.
yeah, which this is also why I would love to see Quinlan in the next game, because Quinlan also has that
They got
ability.
the same
So
thing.
that
Yeah.
would be
Yes, he
really cool.
does. Quinlan Voss, my
Maybe
favorite.
maybe he'll be, you know, on Tantalore eventually
Yeah, eventually.
after going through where he left his name in Kenobi.
Yeah,
Damn right.
Quinlan would be that kind of deep cut that I think could be really cool, just in general.
He was in the Phantom Menace,
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
chilling on Tatooine as in the background.
yeah.
It's
So
Um, but I think yeah, for the
that,
story, that's pretty much it.
yeah, it's just
I do like on the Mantis, after you finish the story and you just keep exploring. I like the dialogue between Kata and Marin, and everyone.
you look pretty.
You look pretty. Yeah, no, it's wholesome. It's funny. It really shows that the crew is taking her under their wing
Adopt her.
in
Yeah.
a very nice manner. I like it. I'm
Shoot, they
looking.
better. They killed her dad. They better
Yeah.
take her under her wing.
I
jeez.
mean,
Yeah, right.
the
He
thing
deserved
is,
it.
I mean, Kata is not even. On the one hand, Kata is not blaming them, but on the other hand, I think it's actually in the. For us, it was like when we were back at Jeddah, like Marin and Cal, or Marin like tells Cal that he needs to prepare himself for that conversation with Kata at some point, about her dad.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, like that's also something where Jedi Survivor just feels very grounded, very realistic, and it thinks about actual characters in that sense of like is going on in people. Um, so yeah, I mean overall, really fucking enjoyed the story.
God, yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah,
It
it'd be
was.
crazy is if Quinlan does show up in the next one, he might know Bode, since they both did undercover work for the Jedi. That would be cool.
damn. Yeah, that would probably be
Makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Do we want to do closing thoughts? Because I have a couple things off
Um,
topic.
Off topic, yeah. Last thing I want to talk about is the bounty hunter quest. That's the last thing.
I knew it. Go ahead, good sir. I was so happy when they did that for you. I'm so glad
Yeah.
it gets
So
told.
first of all, I mean, you meet this character Cage, which I really like her design.
The
She's like,
Aussie Cad Bane.
well, that for one, but I mean, it steals Cat Bane style, but she's the same species as Kit Fisto, so that was pretty cool. Seeing like a female version of that species, because I don't think we've seen that before, at least not live action ish. Um, so I like that. And then you go hunt down all those bounty hunters that are after you. And I love the fact that the fucking theme from Django on Camino plays every time you fight against them. It's like
Dun,
that.
dun,
Dun,
dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
You know, Love it. Like that is like probably like my favorite original piece of Star Wars music they put in the game, and it plays every time. So that was great. But yeah, then the final thing when you encounter Cage. Um, First of all, I like the explanation, like that she used that whole thing to drive up the price of Cal.
Nice.
It felt like
Well, she
a
was
pretty
sitting back while the pucks were coming in. She was getting
yeah,
easy work done.
exactly. So I like that aspect of it. But then also you know when they have their standoff, like Cal sort of defeated her, but then you just hear the jetpack, and then you see the boots. And when I saw I mean, the jetpack was pretty much. I saw the boots with the spikes. I was just like, yes.
I could
um,
I could feel the
and
planet
that
shift when
whole
you did
scene was
that.
just so well done. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. By the way, it was actually literally Tamor Morrison that
Thought
voice
it was
over there,
good.
so that was really cool. Um, Empire Strikes Back outfit, appropriate for the time frame, loved it. But the Return of the Jedi EE3 blaster, which is, by the way, funny enough, that for the longest time was like my favorite, not canon combo, because I really liked the Empire Strikes Back outfit, but I prefer the blaster from Return, so that was cool.
Mm. I
Um,
like how he pulled that up too and everything
Dude,
like that. Just did
literally.
like that. Just hands. I love it.
Well, exactly. Like they did so much stuff right about Boba. It's mind blowing how well they portrayed him. Little dialogue. I mean, really little dialogue. It
Yeah.
was really more about like mannerisms. I
It was a
love
quick
that.
cameo. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
scene-setting mood. Yeah.
exact. But like also like with Cage being like all up. She kind of had that tone of voice that Bib had in Mando season 2 before he gets domed. Like sort of like, "Hey, Boba, looking slick, my buddy. Hey,
Buddy.
let's take him together, right?" And Boba's just looking at her.
I love it.
It's actually
Turns
you.
out,
Yeah, and then Cal is just so happy. I love that Cal is just like, "Man, feels good not to be the target for once."
dude, the monologue that he gives and everything, and the little cliff notes of that, of just like, Cal, you're not just gonna let him take me, are you? That's
That's
exactly what I'm gonna
exactly
do.
what I'm
And
gonna
it's
do.
just like his lightsaber off and everything like that. But you don't know, he hates Jedi's, and I'm like,
And
see,
then I
Jedi
love I
game.
love how Boba says that would be an understatement.
I had my phone in between my legs, pointing it at my TV while I was holding my controller, so I could like get the angle right. But I was on FaceTime with Charlie, so he was able to watch me
That's
see
right.
that for the first time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Wow.
the dialogue stuff to just the movement of him, because like for instance, like the quick movement of then holding the blaster like this,
Mhm.
that is the fucking Jeremy Bullock move that he pulls in Return of the Jedi. Like it just there's a lot of love and passion put into this, and you can notice, and yeah, just really well done. As a somewhat of a Boba fan myself,
A little
I
bit.
approve of this
A little
cameo.
bit.
No, I really
Space
like.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but also like the dialogue after, that sort of thing is over. The Mexican standoff. Like there's
Oh
no more
yeah.
dialogue, and Boba is just like, "Don't misunderstand the situation. We are no allies." Like he's just like, "You're just not the target right now. Fuck off."
Mhm.
In comics, Boba has been greedy to the point where he would complete a bounty, see something else that catches his eye, and then go for that too, just for a little bonus cash
Mm.
grab. But I like that he spared fighting Cal because I was running low on stims personally, and after fighting
You were
Cage,
like
I was
already spending
already
like,
low, and I'm like,
Boba.
oh please, I don't gotta
I hope
fight
you're getting
Boba.
enough money for this one, Ray.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of yours, Mr. Fett. I'm a big fan of yours. I don't want to fight, man. Please
Yeah.
take the
And
woman
and
over there. I don't
also,
Z
care.
doesn't need these data discs. Just
Yeah,
take them. I don't want them.
I'm gonna get my pterodactyl thing and fly out here. You do whatever you
yeah.
want to, man. Whatever you want
I'm
to.
I'm honestly already looking forward because I know it will happen since Bode has a jetpack. I'm looking forward to people modding Boba's model onto Bode, and then you're just playing with
Oh,
Boba.
so you can fight with them? Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be pretty
I
neat.
think that would be pretty cool.
That wouldn't make sense though later down the line when he just decides to use the Force and grab the lightsaber like
Oh,
that.
well, okay, so, yeah. Okay, so you play until that point, and then you just stop.
Or they just mod in a grappling hook instead. Like he uses his
Man,
grappling
no,
to pull
yeah.
it.
That would be cool. But anyway, yeah, that is it from my side then too.
I'm so glad you got.
Yeah, we
didn't
can
get
we can
spoiled
do
on
thoughts. Yep. So
Yeah.
since JT, you wanted to start, go for it.
Number 1, fuck Turgle. Don't like him. Number 2, Scuba Steve. Awesome. Love that little Scottish slug fisherman. Ravis. Liked him as character. Didn't really care for how he looked in the face because it wasn't as accurate as I would have liked it, but I respected it. When his spaghetti arm came out during the boss fight, I was like, okay, they at least understand what a Jedi is and their loyalty mannerisms, that kind of stuff. He definitely would have gotten sliced down like that, though. He wouldn't have died that way, 100%. You even scan some escape pods on the Shattered Moon, too, as like one of the collectibles, like scanning things. I'm like, oh, dude, we're about to fight Ravis, and you're scanning an escape pod. You cannot tell me we're not going to canonize a fly into the sun or a Rey Jedi death. Like that would have been the
got
way to
that
go,
reference.
honestly. But liked him as a character. Liked that he bullies Turgle because I hate him. But what else was cool? Two little things too. There is a chance that you can fight a Rancor just chilling out in the open on Kobo.
I encountered that Rancor.
Yeah, he killed me.
Wait.
So
Wait, hold on. I
Yeah,
have a
it's-
screenshot. Keep talking.
yeah, it's so you can fight him one time in like the flooded cavern something, and then another Rancor is in the funky caves. But there is a chance where you're riding a Neko in the wilderness, and you'll just find him chilling at like the top of like the middle of the mountain or whatever, something like that. It's a
Yeah.
rare chance, but it can happen.
I
The
got
other
it.
thing, yeah, you're pulling up a picture of it.
Yes, because I pretty sure I took one screenshot where he's in the distance because I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah, there we got it. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, what are you doing out here? And
Yeah.
then you go to that Force tier where you fight like two of them, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're just throughout the game. I don't know. But no, apparently that's a rare thing. It can happen.
Right. So here,
So cool.
so much clicking through. There.
Don't you love ads?
Oh
Yeah.
Do I need?
See him
yeah.
down there. Yep.
Like there in the back. I also have. Wait. Can I? Okay, hold on.
Nice poncho.
Hmm. It
You
wouldn't
get
be
an achievement
Cal.
for just wearing a poncho.
It wouldn't be Cal if it wasn't a poncho, man.
There's one that's closer. I
Yeah.
also have one screenshot of. Oh no, that's not it. It's a bit tedious to click at the different pictures on each. All right.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah, like
outside
that's
of the
the one that
caves,
you
yeah.
just encounter right in the open.
Because there's two scripted Rancor boss fights, and they're both in the cave, like two different caves. Then there's the Force tier where you fight two of them at once, but you'll already have Darkseid by then, hopefully.
Right. Yeah.
But
like,
then, yeah, they're off chance that you can rarely find a Rancor. It's pretty neat. And the other thing was, did you fight the Mire Terror in the swamps? Yeah, there's the Force tier.
yeah.
The Mire Terror, it's the brown Wampa, I guess.
Oh, the
but
Mogu. Oh
yeah,
no,
the
the
Mogu.
legendary Mogu.
Yeah, legendary Mogu, the Mire Terror. So you're like in the swamps, and there's like two of them, but one of them has like the horns or something like that.
I know the one with the horns, but I don't remember if it was two.
Yeah, there's like a female one. It's like dark gray.
Oh,
Or
okay.
something, yeah.
Well, I guess I did. I just remember the one with the horns. Yeah.
When you beat them, you unlock a stim. It's just like chilling there, but you can't open it until you defeat them both. But
Right.
if you come across on Kobo, the cave with a Rhodian sitting on a collectibles chest, you
Oh,
use a
God.
mind trick on her or something like that. If you go to the left, there's this hidden slit in the wall that I thought was just part of like how to get up higher on the mountain or something like that. I ended up going through that like wall like shimmy for like a minute and a half, and then you end up in the secret room. It's a dev cave. They have battle droids painting what the Mogu looks like, and it's laying like this
Draw
on
me
the
like
floor.
one of your French girls.
Yeah, exact pose. It's a little dev
Oh,
Easter egg
that's right,
cave
right.
thing. You end up climbing like super long through the
I have
walls, but
actually-
yeah.
I'll try to find it right now.
Did I send that to
Nine.
you? I think I sent you a
Yeah, I
picture
think
of
you
that.
sent it, but
Like, what is this?
What monsters have you unleashed upon this world?
yeah, there we go. All right. Let me share this.
Yes, I found the one I sent you. Okay.
Oh,
Naked
yeah.
Hardly
Mogu.
see it. But there's
Wait.
battle droids painting the Mogu, and he's laying down in the cave. You have to climb pretty far to get there. But
Here, I got it.
yep,
Do you
that's the
interrupt
one.
them, or do they just keep going?
No, they're frozen solid. It's just like the
Yeah.
asset of
Oh,
the
yeah, okay.
character models. They're just standing there. You can't even touch them or anything.
Freaking hilarious.
Then also, when Avail was still here, we really enjoyed playing around with the photo mode. Like for instance, like
Ah,
things like that look really cool.
man, that Rancor is
else
about to
is
get a
there?
lightsaber to the dick.
There were quite a few that looked. Oh yeah, I think there's one. Hold on. Where is it? I mean, also the thumbnail. There's one of those. So.
The Bedlam Raider settlement too, where you drop it down and you fight the spawn of Agdo Bagdo.
Mhm.
Did it before, completing the game. It's hell, but when you complete the game, it's a lot easier, like a lot easier, especially with dark side blasters and all that kind of stuff, all the different stances and upgrades. But there's a forced tear that you can go to where you actually fight the spawn of Ogdo and Ogdo both at the same time.
Damn.
Is that
Yeah.
when he's hacking them?
Yeah, that's when he's hacking him, but
Okay.
it just looks like BD's dancing on his head.
That's good.
Yeah.
The
But
different skins of the commandos too. I loved not the Lucre Hulk exploration was my favorite part in the whole game. Going through those hallways, fighting droidicas, Magna Guards, commando droids, you name it. That was
Yeah.
awesome. I
And-
want a whole game like that.
And the finishers also are pretty cool. Like, I mean, this is not even a finisher. It's just nice angle. Like,
I enjoyed the hell out of that.
but yeah, cutting up droids was super sad. I feel twisted about it because on the one hand, I'm like really satisfying. On the other hand, there aren't that many battle droids anymore. I kind of don't want to destroy them all.
They had a whole Lucre Hulk full of them.
Yeah.
That's like millions of reprogrammable. Like even on Kobo, if you make it up on one of the mountains, you can like get inside of this little shed where there's this dude that's actually reprogramming Ravis's battle droids.
Yeah. Yeah. But
B2 split.
game looks very cool, very good. But yeah, Maul, what did you think? Your
I've
thoughts?
loved what I've gotten through of the game so far, and what I saw, through spoilers online, like immediately. And
Yeah.
then I just went ahead and finished out all the cinematics online, so I could enjoy the game. Because, like I said, I've been playing through it real slow.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Charlie, from what you have seen, without playing it, what do you think?
From what I have seen and from what I have felt. Sorry, that was dark. No, it was amazing, man. Again, I knew this was going to be another thing with when people were going to try and spoil every flipping thing there is. So I immediately went to that site and I was like, okay, go. Because it'd been, when did Fallen Order come out? 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. So I knew it's been a while. I loved Cal's character. Very, very, very cool and interesting and stuff like that. So I was very curious on where it would go and everything. And I loved it from beginning to end. I'm very curious how you're going to balance the not using possibly dark side or maybe even getting closer to it. Either way, I love the whole thing of, again, I know nothing about the High Republic stuff. I tried to. I couldn't, but I enjoyed it in this game so much. Watching it, I enjoyed it so much. I loved any chance where I get a. It was sad. It was cool, but any chance I get to see the chosen one pop in, I'm just like, you at first you had my attention, but now you have my erection. But the sorry, but anyway, the oh come on, you know what I'm about.
No,
But
I knew it was coming, but oh
but
no,
You
you
should have
shouldn't
stopped
said it
him.
like that. Okay, move
oh,
on, move on.
I could not be destroyed. But no, the it was good. It had some tear jerking moments. 1,000% agree with that. Hate,
Only tears?
yes. Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I mean, if you want to get technical about it,
No, no, we don't. No,
No,
no.
just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Interference.
That'll be the stream, everyone.
Sorry, but no, it was definitely a gut pull. I'll pull this back in of the father with this kid and everything like that. It was sad to see. I like the callback to Kenobi. I love the story of everything like that. Seeing Dothamir magic was ridiculously awesome on so many levels. Just even watching it, I'm like, yes! And so loved it. Hated the trail. I really got to get that book now. Thank you, Maul, for recommending that. So I can find out what the hell happened with Zorn and everything else. But yeah, it was amazing. I can't wait to see the next thing. They better do another one after this. So yeah, I loved it. I have spoken.
Hell yeah.
Sorry for my pervertedness, but not sorry.
What? No. What? We wanted to hear. Yeah, I mean, so me and Avela, we both played through it like in probably the first 2 days through the story, and yeah, we were just really hooked on it. Like I had I don't remember if it was a weekend or if I just had 3 days. But yeah, it was pretty much just playing the game, eating something, sleeping. Like we were just hooked completely.
Binging it, yeah.
Yeah.
When I got back from Kentucky, I immediately jumped into the game like that. And like even we were playing in Discord. We were like different
Yeah.
points in the game, but we were still just talking about it while playing
Yeah.
it.
No, that was cool. Yeah. But really enjoyed the game. I think it was like from just the gameplay standpoint, I really enjoyed it, and also the story. Like we were really hooked. Like when the game ended, we were like, damn, like I really want that next title already. Like I want to continue that story. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next one. The addition of that bounty hunter quest definitely tips it over the edge of being just a good game already to just really well done with side story stuff. Like getting Boba right apparently isn't that easy, or it isn't that easy. But I think they did a phenomenal job. And obviously getting Tamora Morrison in this is always a win. But yeah, I think overall it's just a really well done game. I think they improved majorly gameplay wise from Fallen Order, and just took the things that were good, kept those, but improved upon the things that might have disturbed players in the first game. And I think they did a really good job with it. And yeah, not really much more to it. Can highly recommend. I will say apparently so on PS5 it runs the best. So I have a decent PC. It's nothing major. It ran fairly well. First day it was a bit laggy, or like frame drops were like happening when we went into new areas. But overall, like I think they had a patch day 2, and then it already felt a lot better. So from that point, yeah, I think it's very playable at this point. I don't know about the high end machines because I've heard those had some major issues. I don't know if those are fixed yet. But yeah, I heard Xbox was sort of a mixed bag as well. But I don't know. Did anyone play it on Xbox? No. Small, you didn't play it on
No, I'm on a PC.
PC also.
PS5, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think there was a console or PC or anything that the game didn't release where it didn't have problems, right? Like as soon as I downloaded the game, I jumped right into it. You do the Coruscant sequence once you walk all the way through. I got to the cutscene where Cal's like, handcuffed down
Yeah.
or whatever, and the senator's talking. He's like, "Did you honestly think and as soon as he said think or something like
Oh
that,
no.
it crashed. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
And then I load the game back up, and I have to rewalk the entire sequence.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not going to be a good time. This is a very bad way to start this intro. But then, throughout the entire game, I only had like 2 or 3 other instances like that. One of them was annoying though because I didn't hit a save point, so I lost like 30 minutes or so of just
Yeah. Okay.
collecting.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why I need to just plow through and stop collecting at this point. Plow
Yeah.
through the story and stop collecting, because that's happened to me a couple times too.
yeah,
And that's
do
what's
that
discouraged me.
because you
Yeah.
even because before I even started to unlock the things where it shows you where all the treasure is, all the plant seeds, like all the stuff is on the map. I was looking up YouTube videos of people having like certain areas like untamed settlement, 14 of 14 collectibles or something like that. So I was
Yeah.
going physically to each one. So that's
No,
you can
once you
see
have
why that
those
would be
extended
annoying.
maps, it makes it a lot easier. Like a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. But yeah, just sort of these things as a heads up. Like, it's pretty playable at this point. So,
Yeah.
from that point, highly recommend. I think you got a good spectrum of people talking about it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I do want to say right off the bat, we want to show a lot of love for our dear friends Vor and Arjun, who are both Vor's nothing too crazy, but he's in the hospital at the moment as a regular checkup. And Arjun is unfortunately not feeling that great still. He's resting though, so much love to those guys. If you want to, just send them some love. Make sure if you're not in the Discord to join it, or just be nice and send them a DM or something. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
I've got a shout out for Max real quick too,
Oh,
because
all
I
right.
got
Yeah,
something
go
from
for it.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, and Nick too, right?
Oh yeah, well, I already posted that. This is
Ooh.
a sneak preview of these.
Nice.
Nice.
And with some Lego sabers.
Hell yeah.
Jessica's is yellow with a black handle.
There you go. Yes.
And then
Jessica
mine is,
comes out of nowhere and grabs it.
Just
then mine is
Very
green with the classic silver, you know.
Awesome.
nice. Yeah, those are
But they're
dope.
actually pretty hefty. Like, so he does a good job. They're
Pretty point them.
pretty solid. And they're finished pretty well.
Yeah, those
Mhm.
look cool.
Hang
And I
on.
know Charlie got one of his
Hang on.
giveaway.
Hang on.
I think
Uh-oh.
that's what he's getting.
Got it.
If we're grabbing all of our, hold on.
Just
Uh-oh.
for Tom Cruise's sakes. No, so yeah, he literally made okay. Oh,
This is like a shout out to JT and Max because he got this for me from Max.
Here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
yes.
Wait. I gotta get a screenshot of this.
I was about to say yes. Hang on, let me get it over.
And I still have 2
Can
more
you do that?
pieces. I
There's
still
a
have
joke
2
in
more
there.
pieces up on the shelf of that he did
I
for
got
me.
it. Oh,
Man.
yes.
Yeah, these are ridiculously
Super
awesome.
cool.
Just
Oh, that's
ridiculously
very cool.
awesome. So thankful. I've never had a 3D print, and I'm pretty hooked on these.
Nice.
So yeah, it was in my wall of Star Wars stuff over there, so I had to run and grab that.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, the Alliance crew will be back next time. I don't know if we're gonna do a stream. Probably not. I think there's like, if there's something that's worth
Yeah.
talking about, we'll do one, or something else not Star Wars related.
Cool.
Last thing, I guess I will say I've played through the remaster of The Last of Us. Really good. So good things to say about that. But with that said, it's been a good one. We've been going for 2 hours and 23 minutes. So yeah, it's been good. So take care, everyone, and see you next time.
Peace.